A 13-year-old had $500.
No, he was okay. This is where it kind of gets weird. It was a father. But like you can see, but like it was one of my. Like, no, it wasn't weird. It sounds much weirder.
Billy, if this happened, it was a crime.
It wasn't.
If
weird.
this happened, it was a crime. People
Great
forget
time.
I wanted Taylor Heineke for Matt Ryan
Yeah.
like 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and a couple firsts. Maybe not a couple firsts, but a first.
Can we just start the podcast with Big T saying people forget I wanted Taylor Heineke?
Yeah.
Like right there.
Yeah.
This is now macrodosing.
That was on RIP, the Dozen radio show.
R.I.P. Big time R.I.P. The Dozen radio show, initially Big If True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was called originally?
Yeah, it was Big If True. We did a serious radio show for like 3 years. Me, Jeff, Kinjack, Tyler, R.I.P.,
May he rest in
Trill
peace.
Withers, and Liz Gonzalez.
Wow.
Liz was the host of it. Devlin was on there too. Yeah, and
That's a
then
crew.
then COVID happened, and so we took down all of our live radio stuff, and then Jeff pivoted that into
The Dozen?
which you guys are now. You guys know that you're going to tweet out when they do the
Yeah, now
poll,
I got
right?
it. Now I'm going to be an asshole about it on the Macrodosing Twitter.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Big T,
Yeah.
I really think we need to look at this me and you going to games shit, man.
Let's do it.
Nah, I don't like there wasn't enough enthusiasm.
Any game you want to go to, I will go.
All right, we're gonna do this shit.
So,
Me and Big T, we need a catchy name.
for the video series.
Yeah, just me and Big T might be cool. Me and Big T.
BFFs.
T and me.
Couple Arians hanging out.
That's not funny. That's not funny. I don't want that in the show. It's not funny.
Okay.
Oh, that shit's there,
It's
bro.
not funny.
That shit-
That's not funny. You wonder why people hate Democrats?
He's not a Democrat.
It's
I'm gonna get you a shirt.
It's
It
all the
says,
same.
I'm not a Democrat.
Not a Democrat.
It's all the
NAD.
same.
Join the movement. Big T, but you're happy about Taylor Heineke on the Falcons. I think that's a great signing for
sure.
you. Now,
Yeah.
my prediction would be he's going to be the starter. I think he's going to beat Desmond Ridder
I
out.
don't agree with that.
You're going to love Taylor Heineke. He's so much fun to watch.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be the starter, at least to start the season.
When does that quarterback Netflix show come out? Like
Summer.
it's coming out in the summer because I think something weird happened. I'm just speculating with Mariota and him leaving and everything, and it's gonna all be on the show. But I feel like they drummed up some sort of drama.
Yeah, well, he said that he wasn't going to – he waited to get his knee surgery because they benched him. And the Falcons were saying they weren't going to bench Mariota until the Falcons were out of playoff contention. So that was a fucking lie. They benched him before that.
They should have done it about 8 weeks before that.
No, because the South was so bad this year that the Falcons were in it until, I want to say, 3 weeks left in the season.
I think it was maybe 2 or I think the only week they were out of it was the last week.
Really?
Yeah.
So they benched him either 1 or 2 games before they were officially out of contention.
Correct. They
the
should have
playoffs.
if they'd have done it in the middle of the season, they would have won the division.
Maybe. And somebody pointed out on Twitter that the game that we were talking about where the Falcons so hard at the end,
Yeah.
that was against I almost said the C word. They were playing against the Los Angeles C words. I don't say that name anymore. Which it was like
That's right.
It's a unstoppable force, immovable object situation.
That's right.
Which team is the most snake bit? And once and for all, we proved that it was the Falcons
Why do you not say the C words anymore?
because of what they did in the playoffs when they blew that huge halftime lead against
okay.
the Jaguars. And I had a lot of money on the Chargers.
That's a hard R. That was a hard R.
Damn.
That was a hard R.
Can't believe
PFT.
you.
It's hard.
PFT.
That
It's
was a
hard not to say
hard
it.
R.
So I swore off saying or acknowledging the team as anything that exists. All right, we're back. Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Thursday. It is March 16th. I hope everybody had a wonderful Pi Day. Mad Dog can recite pi to 25 places because she's a freak.
Rip it real quick. I want to see it in person.
3.1415926535897932384626433.
Sick.
It's pretty good.
I didn't believe her the first time. Now I actually do.
Yeah.
And then what though? And then
Yeah,
what?
that's where my
Sandbagger.
expertise ends.
By the way, quick fact check. I got it wrong. Finland and Russia don't do joint military exercises, but they do. Their militaries do have relations, but they just haven't done it an exact exercise. I misspoke.
I mean, that's fine that you mix that up. The real question though is, do they actually chew on reindeer testicles?
Yeah,
That part was real. Okay.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you may have gotten wrong?
No, nothing else was wrong.
Nothing?
Nothing else was wrong.
So-
The mayor.
Wait.
Nothing.
Let's set the table. We were talking about the John Morant situation, the strip club situation, and Billy said that the mayor of Glendale, Colorado,
Yes,
also owns the strip club. Now, that's not true,
he did at one point.
but his wife owns the strip club.
Yeah, he had to yeah.
When Jimmy Carter divested himself of his peanut farm.
When Nancy Pelosi's husband makes tons of money on chips on Nvidia.
Now that part I will. That's at least close enough that I'll give him that. It was the other part. He said they're the only strip club that's allowed to sell weed.
Okay, let me pull this up.
Which it appears there's a weed tasting room, they call it, next to the strip club.
No, it's in the lobby of the strip club.
You
which
said
is
next to.
Colorado's first marijuana tasting room to open inside a replica jail cell next to Shotgun Willie's. Patrons at the Smoke and Gun dispensary in Glendale will be among the first in Colorado to have a place to socially smoke marijuana when the pot shop opens on an on-site tasting room. So basically,
So it's a different business.
like it's a different business, but they're connected by a building. So you could.
There's 80 businesses in this building.
I know, but basically, I'm sorry it's not exact, but the zoning allows it that you basically could walk.
I'm
out.
not the one that said you were wrong. There was some guy who said he knew.
Yeah, and you guys
the
just
people who
take the
said he was
random
wrong.
guy. Who,
You're a random guy.
I found the
Good
random
point.
guy. I've sponsored all of
great
my
point.
random guys' quotations. But anyway, that was a little contentious because everyone was just.
No, you were just contentious because you've been on too many steroids to calm yourself down. And so
Okay,
you just have been getting very
Whoa.
mad.
More like it.
Sorry,
Oh,
that was mean.
Spicy.
Sorry,
No,
sorry,
get 'em.
sorry, that was mean.
Prednisone.
Billy has been on a lot of steroids and drugs that he usually isn't on, and it's affected his ability to regulate his emotions.
Fact check.
No,
Oh.
I had to take a bunch of Benadryl.
How are your rashes?
No,
bro?
yeah, it's
How
because
are
of the
your
rashes. I had to take a bunch of Benadryl over the weekend, and then all of a sudden Monday came around. They said after the weekend, so you can go back to work, switch from Benadryl to this other shit, which is called.
But how are the rashes though?
They're gone down because basically, I don't know. They had something about antihistamines and steroids where, like, if you don't get the right balance, the hives come back really bad. I don't know. Doctors.
We still don't know.
But switching from
caused
Benadryl
it?
to Zyrtec is like going from like cough syrup to meth. Like, I feel wired.
You're buzzing right now?
Yeah, I've been buzzing all week.
You look really like hyped up.
I don't
right
know
now, though.
why.
And you still haven't answered my question. How are the rashes?
We're working on it. It's a work in progress.
Can I see your back?
And you.
They like, for example, like when you started on the high prednisone, it all went away, but then like later in the day it would come back. It's like, it sucks, and it's all because of the World Economic Forum.
Obviously.
Yeah,
Billy's rash.
I saw a video.
You should blame
of someone.
you should blame wokeism.
I saw
for
a
your
video
rash.
of one dude from the World Economic Forum talking about how there's ticks that can make you allergic to red meat, and that could play a way in reducing red meat consumption. And I got bit by one of those ticks, and I might be either allergic to red meat or I have some other allergy, but I did get bit by those ticks, so I'm getting attacked by the World Economic Forum.
I love it. I was wondering if there was a way that you could tie
Yeah.
anything bad that happens to anybody on this podcast. I'd like them to figure out a way
Yeah.
to blame wokeism.
I'm
for.
half joking.
All right, what are we blaming wokeism for today? I smell bad today, and I took a shower. I don't know what's going on. Hank might be right about the whole deodorant thing. I took a shower this morning, scrubbed nicely, put on deodorant. I even did a spray of cologne, which I rarely do. And for whatever reason, I caught a whiff of myself walking down the hallway. I don't smell good. It's like I can smell the deodorant smell, but I think the cologne and the deodorant, it clashed. It's having like a knife fight on my body right now. I smell bad. I don't know who's to blame for this. It's got to be the wokes.
Are you blaming the deodorant? I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm blaming.
I don't get this bit.
It's not a bit. I need to figure out how to blame wokeism. Billy, smell me. Come smell me and tell me I don't smell bad. I'm clean, but I smell bad today.
Does your deodorant have aluminum in it?
Yeah, heavy aluminum.
Okay, so that I don't know. That was my only thing.
Oh, you thought it was like it might be the shirt too. Maybe it's the material of the shirt.
Have you washed the shirt in a while?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you?
You might just be dusty. You might just be a dusty dude.
No, I usually smell
Wait,
great.
are you woke? So you are to blame.
Yes.
Yeah, so you are to blame.
Why?
Because you're woke. You're woke and you smell bad.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
You're woke and you smell bad.
I usually smell great though.
No, you're extra woke today.
I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
Yeah. Why is Josh Jacobs tweeting, "This is sad"?
I don't know. Probably because they lost Darren Waller.
Okay.
Very timely. This is coming out on Thursday, by the way, just so you know, Billy. We're recording on Tuesday. I'm going to be traveling to Columbus, Ohio, doing some stuff for March Madness. I'm excited about March Madness.
New York City of Central Ohio.
Is that true? Mm-hmm. That's so.
Are we going to
so
do
sad.
a bracket as a podcast?
We should, yeah. Let's do a bracket challenge.
I never got my
We
Crown
still
Royal
ain't squared
from
up the
last
last. I'm saying, yeah, we still ain't squared up the last bet. I'm saying.
Oh, that's right.
What was it?
We all owe Mad Dog Crown Royal Apple.
year. Yeah.
Yep.
Was that from last year?
Yeah, that's last
Yes,
March
we got
Madness.
squared
I
up.
thought we.
We got to square that shit
I
out.
thought we
man.
drizzled. I thought we.
Well, Maddie, I think we good.
Yeah.
You got the show money. We good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We good.
Yes.
Just buy a crown for me.
Okay.
With that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'll.
But all y'all need to square that off.
Yeah. It's like reverse Venmo.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so what do we want to do? Another bracket challenge this year?
Yeah, we can.
All right,
Yeah.
let's start a group. Who wants to be in charge of the group?
How do I?
Big
don't
T?
No.
What do you mean the group? What
Big
does that
T.
mean?
Like setting it up on Yahoo or
ESPN.
ESPN or wherever?
Oh, I
This
don't
is
even
out of my
know
wheelhouse.
Is that a thing?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
This is beyond your skill level, Billy?
No, I always get someone else to do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Get ChatGPT to set it up for
yeah,
you?
yeah.
All right, yeah, Billy, set it up. Make it open so anybody in macrodosing wants to compete. What are we giving the winner?
They can come to New York and sit on an extra dose.
Billy will give you $1 billion.
No, I don't even. What?
Or if you get
I'll give you
bracket.
all my pie coin. We'll get into that later.
Okay, or what would be an appropriate gift for the winner of the macrodosing pool?
A shirt. That seems
That's-
like.
Now that's thinking
pretty
out of the
fair.
box.
A trip to Shotgun Willie's.
I mean, all of Billy's ideas involve these people spending money. Like he's costing them money if they win.
That's true.
What?
I will buy the winner.
I think a trip to Shotgun Willie's, like a gift certificate to Shotgun Willie's, the strip club, or like the smoking place, would be hilarious.
I will buy the winner a terrible gift of my choosing.
We can send them 3 Chi.
I will. Yeah, there we go. We'll give you a 3 cheap prize pack, and I will also be purchasing you a terrible, awful gift, a stupid gift, the dumbest gift I can think of for under $50. How about that? That's what the winner gets. So it's both. It's a surprise of not knowing what you're going to get, and 3 Chi.
A lot of 3 Chi.
A lot of 3 Chi. All right, so Billy's going to be setting that up. Billy, tweet that out when the show comes out.
Yahoo?
Yeah, go Yahoo.
Yahoo?
Yeah, people
Is that-
use Yahoo.
Is that going to ruffle any feathers with anybody?
I don't think it's going to ruffle any feathers. This might ruffle some Billy feathers.
Oh, no.
I read an article, Billy, about your beloved gladiators.
This has been debunked.
Did you already? Oh, you don't even know what I'm going to say.
I know exactly what you're going to say, that they're fat and vegetarians.
that Roman gladiators were vegetarians.
Yeah, that is rewriting history. It's basically
It's called writing history.
no, it's rewriting history. They're trying to erase meat eaters.
Why is that? Why do you think that this is not
No,
true?
they're basing
Trying to
it.
tear down straight whight men.
No, it's not
That's what
straight
they're
white
doing.
men. I think
gladiators were definitely
gladiators
fucking each
were
other.
definitely not. They were definitely a little more olive skinned. People like the Roman. It's actually really cool. They like did the genealogy of like the Roman Empire, and they were like much more like Middle Eastern than like what Hollywood portrays.
So why are you saying that they weren't vegetarians?
Because they basically the stool samples they found were of all of like the people they were feeding to the lions. So all they had was like gruel. Like they weren't the actual gladiator. Like to find the gladiator poop, you would have to have gone to the like look where they found the poop.
It wasn't poop. They looked at their bones. There's bone samples.
But that has to do with them being just fatter. Read the article. Read the article.
Okay, with the help of a sonar, they could establish the chemical concentrations inside cells and the bone samples taken from the skeletons at Ephesus. From this, they could deduce how much meat, fish, grains, and fruit made up the diet of the Roman fighting machines. A balanced diet of meat and vegetables leaves equal amounts of zinc and strontium in the cells, while a mainly vegetarian diet would leave high levels of strontium and little zinc. The bone density here was higher than usual. So, yeah, they looked at the bone samples and determined that they ate higher than usual concentrations of vegetables.
That's because they're on the Mediterranean diet.
Which is fish.
Right. So they weren't vegetarian. They just had a lower amount of high red meat diet. Like if you look at ancient Rome, like the agricultural, but like if you looked at the Mediterranean diet's been like well studied, but like they definitely had like they ate meat to a certain extent, but they just the variety of their diet was mostly like cereal.
It says they analyzed the skeletons of 70 gladiators, and they said they ate mainly barley, beans, and dried fruit.
Cereal, yeah.
Yeah, so
you could
not
say,
meat.
but you could say the same of like a lot of people today.
Yeah, so but the gladiators, the guys that you look up to, didn't eat a lot of meat. That's what I'm
I
saying.
know
Really, a lot of people today are soy boys.
I know we're assigning me this like I'm like
No, this is your goat.
like meat diet. Like I like my gladiators. Well, that's why they lost, because they're dead.
That's a good point.
All the winners, you didn't find their bones.
You didn't find their skeletons.
Yeah,
they're still alive.
They won their freedom because
Yep.
they were eating only meat, and they're now like look at the gladiator, the gladiator trainers. Those were the ones who won their freedom. They worked at the gladiator school.
I'll be honest, if I was a gladiator that won my freedom, the last thing I would want to do would be to train other gladiators.
Yeah.
I would get out of the game.
Like Spartacus didn't have, Spartacus didn't have his bones analyzed because there's no bones to find. Those were all losers.
Yeah,
Where do you think they found those bones?
true. Gladiator is an awesome movie, by the way. I watched it again, like, I want to say 6 months ago.
Ray Lewis used to say that he watched it before every NFL game. So during Pop Warner, I used to watch Gladiator before every Pop Warner game when I was in middle school.
To be like Ray?
Yeah, I was like, this is the only way to get in the zone.
Yeah. Aaron, were there any linebackers you were afraid of? Like, were you afraid of Ray Lewis?
Nah, afraid? Like scared? What do you mean by scared?
Like, were there one or two guys where you're like, man, I wish I wasn't playing against this guy?
Nah, I didn't. I mean, there were dudes you respected. Like if you played against Patrick Willis, like he's a killer. Like you respect his game, but like I never thought of it. Like I mean, I'm sure there are people who have been afraid, but I never was like, oh, that's Ray Lewis. I was like, he put his shit on one leg at a time, 1 foot at a time, just like me. You got to see me. Like I'm nice. That's how I rationalize it in my head. It's like you got to see me.
Do you think there's anyone with that mindset that PFT is talking about who's ever made it to the NFL, who like has that like, oh, like you're warming up for your high school game and you look across the field and they're like way bigger than you, like that fear complex?
Not the bigger thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. The bigger thing in high school, in, Pee Wee, like that shit was very prevalent. I felt that as a little kid, but I think once you reach that level, it's like nah. I mean, you have admiration for other cats, but you ain't like that's Ray Lewis. Nah,
Yeah.
fuck that. And that's my guy. But it's like at the time, you like fuck him. Like
You're gonna run through his face.
nah, that's not my style. I'm gonna make him try to make him look silly.
There was a great running back
late.
that was afraid of being tackled, and it might have even been Barry Sanders, and that's why he was so good, just because he was afraid of getting tackled.
Afraid?
I might
don't know,
I might be
man.
making that up with Barry Sanders, but there's a very good running back that said that he was afraid of being tackled.
Could be the case, but I mean, all I can speak to is my experience. I've never seen anybody or heard anybody, but yeah, I'm scared. I'm afraid, and I definitely wasn't. But you have, I have a funny story actually. Well, it's not funny. Billy earmuffs, nigga. Last story I told you was on my bumper.
I was not. I was not.
Anyway,
Do
fam.
you feel cool when
so we
Aaron
was at the
calls you
Pro
that?
Bowl.
What?
When Arian just said that to you, we were like, yeah.
Nah, it's
What did he
word.
say?
It is what it is.
What?
I said
Bump-
nigga.
Oh.
Anyway,
I.
L-I-G-It, man. L-I-G-It. Anyway, we had the Pro Bowl 2010. It's my first Pro Bowl, and I'm there. I flew my whole family out, so like whole Pro Bowl check gone, like 20,000 flights and hotels. But it was a great experience. And so we at the bar. Well, that wasn't me. It was my stepdad, who's cool as shit. He's a geneticist, but he cool as shit. And one of my best friends I grew up with, Simon, a little Mexican cat. And so they sitting at the bar, and Ray Lewis is sitting across from them, and he goes, and he's just staring at him. And it's funny as shit hearing my stepdad tell the story. And then so he looks to Simon. He's like, Simon, I don't know what's going on, man, but Ray Lewis is staring at me. And so Simon's looking, and he's like, oh shit, he is. He's staring at you. And so he just keeps staring, and like it's Ray Lewis, right? They both know Ray Lewis, and it's like, but like Ray Lewis for some reason is staring. And then Furman goes, hey Simon, if we have to fight, like, are you down? And my dude was like, fuck it, let's go. Like, it was really down to fight Ray Lewis. It's hilarious. And so later on, my mom comes down, joins him at the bar, and my mom's like, what's going on? He's like, you see that guy? She's like, yeah, that's Ray Lewis. And they go, he's like, he's staring at us, and like it's something's weird, man. He like wants to, I don't know. And so my mom's like, she goes over there. She goes, hi, I'm Arian Foster's mom. And his whole disposition changed. She's like, oh shit, how you doing? He hugs her. He's like, this is my husband, and that's his best friend. He was like, hey man, I was about to wring his neck, man. They all fell out laughing, dog. It was funny as shit.
What was he mad
about? I
don't
know why. I don't remember why. I'd have to call him and ask. I don't remember why. Should I FaceTime him?
Yeah. I want to hear
Ray
about
Lewis
it.
or your friend?
I could do both, but I'll FaceTime my stepdad because he tells the story funny.
That's terrifying.
Hold on.
Yeah, I would not
funny.
not be ready to fight Ray Lewis. I would be like, whatever it is, Ray's right.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see. Hey, I got a question, man. You on my podcast, but listen. Just listen. Do you remember the story about Ray Lewis? With you and Simon. Yeah. Okay. How many stories about Ray Lewis do you have? All right. Why was he staring at y'all in the first? Why was he staring at y'all in the first? Oh, this nigga hung up. Hold on. He gets moody sometimes. Hold on. Why was he staring at y'all in the first place? Well, why was he saying I was gonna wring your neck?
I was staring at them. Hello?
Yeah. What did you say?
I was staring at them.
Why was you staring at them? That's what it was. Adrian Peterson and Ray Lewis.
Kept looking, and I said, I recognize you. You're my favorite running back.
Got you.
You got a place where the NFL players were at their safety place. It hit me. I said, I shouldn't be staring. And he was like, what? And that's when it started.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, man. All right. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but he was basically saying they was at the bar and he was staring at them, and then that made them like, what the fuck is the problem? And he was like, oh shit, I forgot that we at this place where like all the players are, and they kind of like it's kind of like chill, like it's kind of known like family don't ask people for pictures and don't like harass people or whatever, because they there in Hawaii trying to enjoy their time. And so he was just like staring at Adrian. I forgot Adrian Peterson was there too, and Ray Lewis. And then my man Simon was like, hey, if we got to roll, we got to roll. And then my mom came and diffused the situation, and she was hilarious, dog. It's a funny story in my family.
Yeah, Ray Lewis, probably the last guy I would want to get into a fight with.
Yeah.
Would not fuck with that guy. I know a girl that went on a date with Ray Lewis.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she said he didn't make any sense.
Okay. Now I'm interested.
Well, Ray is the undisputed king of talking, and then when you're listening to him talk, you get wrapped up in whatever emotion he's trying to convey, and you're like nodding your head, following along. And then if you were to read a transcription of the words that he actually said, you go back and read it later, and you're like, well, I have no idea what any of this means, but he had me right there with him.
I was there. I was waiting.
I can't imagine Ray Lewis being like nice and chill after he retires. He's like playing board games with his family. I can't picture Ray in any other mode, but just like ultra competitive, like slamming the pieces down, amping himself up, doing a little dance. He just seems like a guy that doesn't have a chill mode.
Does he do? Is he like on any like? Does he commentate or was he doing anything?
Oh, I think he might be on Inside the NFL.
Okay.
Right?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen him in a long time, really.
Yeah, I wonder what
I don't watch
time I
Inside the
seen him-
NFL, though, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think last time I seen him. Personally, I think last time I seen him was at some event, and we chopped it up for a little bit. But I think after that, it was when we was taking a knee, and my man's went on 2 knees.
Yeah.
And said it was for God. I remember that.
Yeah, he took the second knee for Jesus. I think that was in the London game. Is there any linebacker that you remember that you like the best pass block of your life where you laid a dude out?
Where I blocked them?
Yeah.
That was never my style. It was never like my thing was just getting their way. Block them for 3 seconds and do your job. I was never like blow them up. That's just never my style.
I love running backs when they do that though. Like Clinton Portis used to lay dudes out. He would look at that as like his time to hit them. MJD, I think he might have laid out Sean Merriman. Like
Yeah, he did.
knocked him out.
That's a very well known clip. Majority of the time, running backs do that. It's never like head up. That's the thing though. Like linebackers ain't no hoe in the NFL, so it's like for that instance, like no shade. He did that shit, but it's like usually comes off of fullbacks, like will fake, right, and they'll go on a route, and then behind him is the tailback, and so like the linebackers kind of like bracing for the fullback's cut. Usually, what happens is like either linebackers or DNs are bracing for somebody's cut, and running backs come in, or they chip. Running backs chip a lot. And so if you could chip, you can get like a little cheap shot on him.
Yeah, they get him from the side, get him a little bit off balance, and then just lay him out. Those are my favorite.
I thought about that shit in so long.
I just love watching pass protection highlight reels.
You'd be like one of the only ones.
Yeah, I am. It's just something that I guess only I care about and nobody else.
I've been doing it lately just because everyone's saying Kelsey being like the best tight end ever. I just replay Gronk pass, like Gronk blocking highlights, and a lot of them is in pass protection.
Yeah.
And it's just like Kelsey doesn't do this.
Yeah.
Like, break people's necks.
I would. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. If I was on the field, I would have Arian's mentality of just get in their way, try to survive. Don't be a hero.
Yeah. For what?
Arian, I have a question to ask you about maybe getting back out on the field, putting the cleats back on. Would you have any interest? Wait, you didn't let me finish.
You're right. I did
in
not.
becoming a referee.
An NFL referee?
Yeah.
That might be fun.
I think it would. You don't hear of players transitioning into being referees, especially not professional ones. But
didn't Richard Jefferson did in the NBA, didn't he?
He looks like a ref.
I think he did.
They let him do it
Jefferson.
in like a
G League.
summer league game or something. But he's
Right,
on
yeah,
TV.
okay.
I don't know if he's trying to do that like for real.
Yeah, I remember him doing some trying, but yeah, I don't think anybody's done it for real.
'Cause
That'd be fun as shit.
I think the players would know better because they've been in that position. They've been on the field. They'd probably have some insight that other refs wouldn't have. You'd be able to.
I would never. I'm just saying right now, they're probably not going to hire me because I'm saying this right now. I would never throw a personal foul flag. If you're fighting, I'm just going to break the shit up. If you talk funky to me, I'm just going to talk shit back. If you bump me, I'm just like, hey, watch yourself, player. Like, I might bump you back, but I'm never throwing that flag. I'm never.
It's a different sport.
to
But
hate
who was
that
it on
shit.
the Warriors the other day who got a tech for? They call a foul.
Probably Draymond.
It wasn't. It was. I don't want to say the name if it's wrong. It might have been Jordan Poole or somebody. I forget. But they call a foul. He gives the ref a bounce pass. Very, just bounces the ball to the ref, and I guess the ref thought he threw it a little too hard or too low or something, and he calls a technical foul. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen.
That was Jordan Poole.
Okay, that's who I thought it was.
Poole whistled for odd technical foul on bounce pass to ref.
He was literally just giving him the ball.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of refs are soft, dog. A lot of refs are just like little baby cries, man. Like, fuck out of here, dog. Like, you playing a sport with like men who dedicate their lives to this shit. It's gonna be emotional. Some shit, they gonna say some crazy shit. Just take it. Or like, don't sign up for that shit. Get the fuck out of here. I hate that
It's like
shit.
when teachers feel like they're getting disrespected, but like it wasn't, and they just like get you in trouble for some shit. Like same thing with refs. Like even
I don't know if I can co-sign that one. I don't know.
no, but like like
Kids are assholes. I was an asshole.
I'm watching the clip right now. That's an awful call. That might be one of the worst calls I've ever seen. How awesome would it be though to see Arian in the stripes and like a running back breaks free and they run to the end zone and Arian sprinting down the sidelines faster than they are?
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
We should get you involved. I'm sure the NFL would be down to have like Arian go to ref school, try to work your way. That'd be a great series. If we did a video series on Arian, Arian becomes what position of ref would you want to be?
Whatever the ones on the sideline.
line judge?
Line judge, side judge?
Yeah, probably that. Yeah, 'cause I'm definitely not gonna be over the ball. Hell no, that's too much. I just want to be on the side, chilling. I want to hear the coach in my ear. I'll be like, I'll talk shit back to the coach if he talks shit to me.
Now, you know who sometimes needs or will let do like celebrity refs and stuff like that? Are spring games at colleges.
Yeah.
So maybe if we knew of a college where maybe we knew a couple people who could maybe facilitate something like that, maybe that could be a good place to start.
JMU.
Yeah.
The vaunted JMU spring game. The purple and the gold.
That could be good. Is that?
I think I'm going to go to the spring game this year, Big T.
Hell yeah.
Josh, is it Josh Dobbs, the quarterback?
Yeah.
He texted me and said he is having like a golf tournament. He has like an annual golf tournament. So I told him I was going to check the schedule. I did check the schedule. It looks like I'm free, and a couple of the homies is pulling up, so I might pull up.
Nice.
We should definitely get you involved to a certain extent as a referee, though. That would be amazing.
I think we're gonna find out that it's a lot more tight knit, buttoned up than we think.
Billy's right. Respect the badge.
No, I think it's gonna be like they don't want anybody because like refs are weird. Why are they part time? What how do they get selected? A lot of nepotism there.
Probably.
What are they
definitely
hiding?
nepotism. Some guys have to work their way up, go through high school, then college, then professional. Although I feel like a lot of college refs just stay in the college game.
Like NFL refs.
Hey, Billy, do you know who Eddie Bravo is?
Eddie Bravo? Johnny Bravo. Eddie Bravo. Oh, is he the jiu-jitsu guy on Rogan?
Yes, he is the jiu-jitsu guy on Rogan.
Yeah.
You are walking in his footsteps. Not with jiu-jitsu.
Could be.
But with what?
It just, a lot of it's a bit, but it's just, any conspiracy, he just wants to feed, at any cost. Anything.
Hey, you're the script guy.
Yeah,
you're
actually,
the script guy.
That,
I don't
the
think
NFL
it's a script.
they might hesitate to give you a position.
Yeah, you're the script guy over there.
That's PFT, man. I took a bullet for him. I'm still waiting on compensation for that debacle.
It would be funny though if you got into like being an actual NFL ref, and then every time somebody was mad at you for anything, they've got that long clip that they can put out there.
Oh yeah, I didn't even. Yeah, they will definitely never hire me as an NFL ref. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Maybe college ref. Maybe Aaron could be a college ref. I just think it'd be interesting to see how it goes. I kind of agree with Billy's point. Well, no, this wasn't really the point he was making, but I think that refereeing games is a lot harder than we give him credit for. I think the game
it's super
it moves
hard.
so quickly, and they're watching it, and we get to watch it in slow mo, and so you see all the small details. That shit must be impossible to do in real time. Like, see if a wide receiver got 2 feet down as they're making a catch on the sideline. That shit's got to be really hard to do.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, there's so many different positions, so you have to watch for holding by 5 different guys, 6 different guys, in offsides. Now, there's so many different infractions. This shit is not easy though. Like I remember one time I reffed an intramural basketball game when I was in college. I was reffing an intramural basketball game, and sometimes I just forget I was the ref, and I just ended up watching. And they were like, "Come on, ref, call it." And I was like, "You're right, that was a foul, but it's too late now. I can't call it." It's just like you just forget that aspect of it. It's like it's not easy, man. Seeing all that shit, it's a lot going on.
I mean, you could call a play. I mean, you could call a penalty on every single play.
Probably
Like if you look back intricately, and that's why it's kind of like, it's like, when are they going to call the penalty? I feel like there's like stuff we don't know about that goes into prepping for games for refs, where they're like, okay, today we're calling this, today we're calling that. If we see this in the fourth quarter, we got to call it because of this thing from last week.
Nah, they don't. No, they don't do that. They emphasize shit. They get shit handed down from the league office, and we get word of this. So like they'll emphasize, hey, we have an influx of holding calls in this particular situation. We have to emphasize this. Like they have it like that. And I think I've already said it. Like so, like we'll have like they have crews. So like you end up knowing the crew. Like you see people and they all ref together, and they have tendencies, and you know those tendencies. And it's like they have a higher defensive pass interference tendency. These guys call offensive pass interference way more than any other. And so like you start to know that kind of stuff. But they do have emphasis that come down from the league. But they're not like, we're gonna call this more. That would be scripted.
Yeah, I once reffed a youth lacrosse game, and I was gonna like going into it. I was like, I want to let the boys play, and it really devolved really fast.
Yeah.
So there is merit to Law and Order.
You were players ref.
I was like, yeah, slash, just let them at it. Like if you want to do a hard hit, but then like once they realized that I wasn't calling shit, they like the boys got after it, and I had to like reestablish the game. Like I was like, whoa, like people like it devolves much faster than you think. From my limited ref standpoint.
I would love to see that.
Man, they call it ref, like, man, the fuck up.
I was literally.
It wasn't that hard. Let's go. Play the game.
I got into a couple altercations with some intramural basketball refs in my time at the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, were you banned?
No. I do think I had one technical called one time, which was bullshit, because at the end of the season, they had this sportsmanship rating that, like, it affected your playoff seeding if you had a technical foul called on you during the season. It was a whole thing. But they were terrible for the most part. One of them was one of my best friends who would intentionally officiate me like I was Shaq. I mean, it was nonsense. I could get hit in the face and he wouldn't call anything.
Just backing people down?
Oh, I mean, it was there were no fouls unless I was on defense. Then there were fouls.
But you were known as a problem at the university.
I'm sure in the intramural ref group chat, my name was brought up. Yes.
That's awesome. I would love to tee you up.
I'm sure.
Solid.
Technical.
Yeah, big technical is
You
what
should
they
talk
call
to
it.
Ben Locke. He did too.
Bin Laden?
Ben Locke.
Oh yeah.
I was a referee for youth soccer when I was a kid, and I was, not to brag, got 100% on my ref qualification test, so I know every rule that there is. But I don't know if I should tell this story.
Well, you've already started telling it.
Okay, I'll tell it. The guy that was in charge of scheduling all the like different games with all the different refs in my hometown, I would work with him frequently as a linesman. He'd be the head referee, and I worked with him for probably, I don't know, 2-3 years between the age of probably 12 to 14, 13 to 15, and then he had to resign because he got arrested for child pornography. And he never put the moves on me. So, like, what am I? Am I chopped liver over here?
Oh,
Jesus
man, shut
fuck,
your ass
dude.
up.
He never acted inappropriate towards me.
What the
And then that I had to be like, well, maybe I need to hit the weight room. I don't know.
dude, that's
When you said you shouldn't tell the story, what you meant was you shouldn't tell the joke.
Yeah, probably.
Man.
He was also in the CIA, and he did like the child porn stuff on a CIA computer. Not a great idea.
That's an all-time moron move, for sure.
I guess he wanted to get caught to a certain extent.
You'd have to.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was bad. Maybe I shouldn't have told that story.
No, the story was fine.
Anyways, you're going to use a Billy transition here. Anyways, Big T, you teed off about anything?
Not since yesterday, I don't think.
Okay. You've had a pretty clean day? Pretty clean
Yeah.
24 hours?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay. Everybody happy? Checking in with everyone in the room? Billy, you good? Mad Dog, you good?
I was angry about something, but I forgot.
So it couldn't have been that bad?
No, but that happens.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Billy, let me see that back one more time.
Okay, I am. Can we? I don't want to make my health too much content, but
HIPAA?
it is getting a little annoying that this thing won't go away.
Yeah,
It might be red meat.
I would imagine.
Like that sucks. But if
Have you
it's red,
Have you stopped eating red meat? to
no,
see?
because I can't. I accidentally eat red meat all the time.
That's a wild thing to say.
No, like actually,
He's addicted.
I'm literally
You accidentally eat red
yeah,
meat.
because I was like,
You trip and fall and swallow a
yeah,
steak.
I
What are you
literally,
talking about?
I literally was like, oh, I actually, since we went to that ramen place, I've been getting into ramen recently because it's like pretty affordable, high protein content, no gluten because they're thinking of gluten or something. I can't believe I've become an allergic kid. I used to make fun of them so much growing up. Now I'm like one of these kids. Like I was like, shh, like you didn't play in the dirt enough as a child.
Yeah.
And now I'm like getting caught with all this. But I think it's the New World Order is trying to kill me with this tick.
You're
that I got
experiencing
bitten by.
empathy.
Yeah.
When
but-
it wasn't happening to you, you were like, that's your fault. And now it's happening to
they
you.
didn't-
And it's a global conspiracy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, Billy learns empathy.
No, but I just like I don't know. I was like pork that's not technically red meat, and then I was like chicken, it's just
Yeah, pork's the other white meat.
no
how
pork.
they branded
Pork
themselves.
has got the alpha gal in it or whatever it is. I don't know. But if I think it would be a good series because apparently there's some acupuncturists who claim they can cure the alpha gal allergy through acupuncture in your ears. So that might be a cool. I'd pay for it, of course, but like it might be a
Yeah,
cool series to
obvious.
see if it actually
Wait.
if it actually
Wait.
worked. I just wanted to put that out there so you guys are like, oh, you're gonna try to get us to pay for your witch doctor.
You think I was about to volunteer that
No,
we
I
pay
wasn't going to
for you to get your
I wasn't
rash
going to
fixed?
expense the fucking acupuncture, but it would be cool to see if it actually worked.
I mean, the ear has a lot of different pressure points on it.
Yeah.
My grandfather used to carry around on his keychain. It was like a human ear. It was fake, obviously. It was plastic, but it was a human ear that had it had probably hundreds of little points on it with the Chinese symbol for whatever that point meant. Chinese really believe in the power of
I think
of
it might fucking work.
manipulating your ears.
I've been seeing some stuff that like people have been cured of alpha-gal allergies from this fucking tick, which I swear to God.
Which you might not even have.
I know, but like, dude, I've never been too allergic for anything in my life. And then back in July, I got bit by these ticks, which I then like try to figure out because I thought they were gnats, and then like there's no gnats on Long Island. Then find out that there's this tick-borne allergy that happens when you get bit by this one type of tick, and then like you read up about it, and then all of a sudden I'm getting allergic reactions 7 months later.
You should have played in the grass more.
I know, fucking, it is a work-related injury.
Wait, where did you get bit by the tick?
Long Island. If you look up Lone
Like,
Star
what-
larva, I got bit.
I'm saying, what were you doing?
We were playing
just,
frisbee
chilling on
golf.
the beach?
Oh yeah, I mean I was covered in bugs that entire day too.
I know, but did you have?
I didn't get it because I'm strong.
I know. The thing is, I was a dumbass and I was just chucking as far as I could, and I was like, okay, let's just like shoot stuff from the woods as a bit, and this is my fault.
This
but I don't
is
care.
great. This is great because now Billy's pivoted to the reason that he got the ticks is because he's so strong that he was throwing the frisbee too far.
No, I mean, I'm just. It's just so annoying because the one day I don't wear boots in the woods, I get fucking bit up.
Yeah.
You were barefoot?
No, I had sneakers on.
Oh, I was like, yo.
Yeah,
The one day I don't wear boots in the woods.
I always wear boots in the woods,
yeah.
but it's actually pretty crazy.
Wait, so where did you get bit by the
I
tick?
got bit by a bunch of larvae all up. So like basically there's like a bomb that goes off and the larvae just explode onto your leg and just bite you 1,000 times. And they went all up my leg. Like I remember when it happened, it was my Fire Fest for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now I think I'm getting hit. So what happens is they like hold a certain sugar that's called the alpha-gal sugar molecule that's present in all red meat, and they insert it into your body and cause an immune response to the bite. So your immune system starts to attack the sugar molecule that you've been consuming for like your whole life. But since there's like an an allergic response to it, you then build up antibodies that attack the molecule whenever they see it. So if you eat red meat, you start getting allergic reactions. So it's like the weirdest thing. It like literally turns you vegan. So
That sounds cool. I just don't know if I believe
it is true. You can look it up. I mean,
I don't want to look it up. I don't want to look it up.
it's the Lone Star take. It's fucking. Because I've never been
wild.
allergic to anything in my fucking life. I literally used to like
You
eat.
can develop allergies.
I know,
You
but
can also lose allergies. Some people develop allergies to like poison ivy later on in life.
never was allergic to poison ivy. As a party trick, I used to rub it on myself in front of my friends. I
That's a good
literally won. Actually, this is a weird story. I basically got $500 to rub poison ivy on my nether regions and was fine.
You won $500.
Yeah, I literally was like, I'm not allergic to poison ivy. And then someone was like, oh, $500 is actually kind of similar.
Yeah.
Did you put
It sounds weird.
when you say nether regions? Are we talking
D&B,
twig, berries, or butthole?
everything. Oh, not.
You didn't use it as toilet paper.
No, but
oh my God, Billy.
If you're really about that life, you would do it.
I wouldn't do it again. And
Time out. Hold on.
I've never been allergic to
said-
anything.
Hold on, cuz. Hold on. You said as a party trick, I took poison ivy and rubbed it on my balls. You saying y'all are all at a party and
That
somebody
wasn't
says,
a barbecue.
Well,
A
you said
kickback.
party trick.
It's
just
outdoors.
I'm trying to
I was
understand.
honestly, I was much younger in the situation, which kind of makes it a little weirder, but it wasn't. Basically, I've always been like I had people who always got poison ivy. I never got poison ivy. So I was like,
That's not the.
so I was like, I've
topic.
never gotten poison ivy.
What was the situation to where somebody was like, "Hey, I bet if you rub this on your balls, you'll get itchy," and you was like, "Nuh-uh." Like, what was
The situation? The situation is, I'm basically right now, like I am, like I'm like, someone got poison ivy.
Yeah.
They're like, don't go in there. There's poison ivy. I'm like, I never get fucking poison ivy. And they're like, what the fuck you mean you never get poison ivy? I was like, I'm not being a dickhead. I'm not like I'm tougher than poison ivy. I never get poison ivy. And then the guy was like, oh yeah, rub it on yourself. It's like, I'll fucking rub it on myself 100%. He goes, like, you won't rub poison ivy on your fucking balls for like, I'll give you $1,000. Like, you won't fucking do it. And I was like, I'll fucking do it right now.
And you talked him down to 500.
I don't even remember. I think it was like he said, okay, 500 because that's what he had on him. And I like it was also
How old were you?
I was like 13.
A
And
13-year-old had $500.
no, he was okay. This is where it kind of gets weird. It was a father. It was but like you can see, but like it was one of my like, no, it wasn't weird. It sounds much
it's
weird.
Billy, if this happened, it was a crime.
It wasn't
If
weird.
this happened, it was a
No.
crime.
You saying a father
No,
told a
was this guy
13-year-old to
No,
rub
this
poison
sounds
ivy on his
much
balls?
worse.
Was he a youth soccer referee?
no,
by any
this
chance?
is this sounds such
God,
no.
Billy.
Okay, you know what? You guys are weird for thinking
Victim.
this was weird. It was
Yeah.
dudes. It was guys being dudes.
totally normal.
No, it was guys being dudes. It was a fucking barbecue. Everyone was chilling. It
Billy,
wasn't
I'm going to give you
weird.
one chance right now to say this didn't happen.
Dude, it wasn't weird.
You were 13.
It was a bet. Did no one like at like in your social circles
No.
do crazy
No.
bets?
Not with people's dads.
No, but it was like friends of the fan. Like it's not weird. It wasn't weird.
You know what? Let's go around the room. I want to make sure I'm not crazy. I want to make sure I'm not the crazy one.
It wasn't
Has
weird.
anyone
It's
else,
not weird for the record, Billy.
Dude,
wants to
it
make
was
that very
like-
clear.
Has anyone else had one of your friends' fathers offer you a sum of money to rub poison ivy on your nutsack?
No, okay.
I just
it
want to make
sounds-
sure
the thing
that
is,
I'm
it
not
would
the
be,
weird
It
one.
would be weird if it like it would be weird if I didn't know I was immune to poison ivy.
That's
think
not what
that's-
makes it
yeah.
weird, man.
But like literally,
That's not-
but like it wasn't like it wasn't weird because I think I sort of prompted it. I was like,
It's not weird.
It wasn't fucking weird.
It's not weird counter is at, I believe, 11 or 12 right now.
So how
For how
how
unweird
did
it
this
was.
adult verify that this happened?
He's watching.
No,
you.
he's-
He's watching
I literally-
you stick your hand down your pants.
yeah. I mean, what like
Did
no
you
one
drop your
saw.
pants?
No one saw anything. I was just like, show me like I picked up poison ivy. He was like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. It was like more of like a me like being stubborn.
All right, so before Billy started the explanation,
Don't blame yourself. Hold on. We can't let him.
No,
get
it
away with
wasn't
It's not your
weird.
fault, Billy. Billy, it's not your fault.
No, it's not anybody's fault. It
not
was
your fault.
funny.
Hey,
It was.
It's
You
his
guys
fault.
are
Look
making
at
it
me.
weird.
Look
In
at
the
screen. Look at
situation,
screen,
in the
Billy.
context.
Look at the screen, Billy. It's his fault. It
No,
wasn't
it's
your
not.
fault,
He's
okay?
a cool. He's
Listen
a
to
chill. He's a
his.
totally normal
Look,
dude.
Billy,
it was just
God,
guys
this
being
is deeper
dudes.
than I thought it was. Hey, Billy, it's not your fault, man.
Okay, you
It's his
Billy,
fault.
would you do that to a 13-year-old right now?
no, but it was
Okay.
like
Would that be weird?
But it's not weird.
Would it be
though.
weird if you did it to a 13-year-old?
You understand how I get boneheaded, right? Where it's like I won't
No,
stand down.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so like it was one of those situations where it's like, okay, fucking rub it on your balls, like, and then I did it.
There's
And also, here's $500.
It's the jump where it's like, it's one of those things where, fuck it, rub it. No, that jump where an adult watches a 13-year-old rub anything on her balls is a jump that's just not a normal jump.
Okay, you guys just don't
letting
understand
you
the
know, man.
context of the situation.
You guys don't know ball.
Yeah.
Don't clip this. I don't want to.
Oh, no.
Stupid if you think I'm not going to clip
Yeah.
this.
Come on, Billy.
It's not weird, dude.
And then we're,
Anyway,
then we're gonna run a Twitter poll.
this-
Is this
end
weird?
the story. End the story. I'm not allergic to poison ivy.
Did you get $500?
Yes.
So this guy handed you a wad of cash after you rubbed poison ivy on your balls.
No one thought I would do it. They thought it was more like the reason it was raised. It was because no one thought I would actually do it, but I did it.
It's
'Cause
not
it's a
your fault,
crime.
Billy. It's not your fault.
But like it was a okay. Whatever.
This is unsettling.
I mean,
It's not unsettling at all. It-
never,
like,
never in a million years did I think it was going to go the dad route on this one. I
Well, who'd you think had-
I was fully anticipating the story
He
to
may
be
have not proposed
which sounds
it.
sounds like it might have been along these lines where a friend of Billy's got poison ivy and Billy was like, "You're a pussy. I've
That's how it
I've
started.
never gotten poison ivy."
I can't remember the exact scenario right now, but
I'm pretty
basically,
sure that was the
someone
start
got
of it.
poison ivy. I was like, "Oh, I'll go in and get it." It was like I'll go in and get.
You called your friend a bitch, and you were like, "I've never gotten poison ivy.
Yep.
I could eat poison ivy. I could do anything with poison ivy."
Yeah, like I don't get like everyone's so fucking scared of poison ivy. I've never gotten poison ivy.
and then
in
your
my life.
friend's dad was like, I bet you won't rub it all
No,
over
it wasn't
those
that.
balls."
I proposed it. I'll rub fucking poison ivy on me right now. And then my buddy's like, "You won't fucking do it. Like you won't put it on your fucking balls." And I was like, and then people get wind of it. And they're like, "You won't get
And
fucking."
his dad goes, "Yeah, rub it on your
No,
balls."
no,
Word travels fast.
no. It's like
won't
you
do it.
No, you're fucking crazy. You're not gonna fucking rub it on your balls. I'll give you $500 if you do that. It's fucking crazy. And then I never got poison ivy.
This guy still? He's free.
He just, don't worry about it.
Hey guys, get over here.
I'm
Jimmy's
not.
friend's gonna rub his nut sack with poison ivy. I'm gonna give him
And I'm gonna
$500.
give him $500.
I'm not
And then-
allergic to
and then
poison ivy.
That's a whole nother
That's not the
dynamic.
point of the story.
You're giving a child $500, dog. Like, did you tell your mother this happened?
Dude, no, she's gonna find out if you clip this.
She's
I'm
gonna
gonna
find
clip
out.
Don't
it.
clip this.
I'm
She's gonna
gonna
freak
clip it.
out.
That you were
Billy,
fucking.
you
It
say
wasn't
these things on a
weird.
It's not weird, Madeline. That's the part that you're missing out on. Is how this was
Please put in the
so not weird.
disclaimer. It is not weird.
Definitely not
say
weird.
these things on a
and
public
it's
platform.
Do not print that it was weird.
it's so not weird that we never told our mother that it happened, and she didn't question how we got
Where the
that
$500 came
on the
from.
night.
T, you should blog that and be like, "Is this weird?" And ask people.
I feel I have. Billy told me it's not, so I have to say that it's not. But other people are free to draw their own.
No, because I
conclusions.
like it. It's just a scenario. Barbecue. Dads drinking.
It's a scenario.
Post sports.
It's boys being boys.
Yeah. Like,
Nate
Now
Oates.
he's-
Wait,
now-
wait.
Now the dad is
This
intoxicated.
changes things. It was post sports.
So you were sweaty?
Listen, you play some ball with the fellas. You grill some burgers. You rub
little-
poison
was it
ivy on your
wiffle ball.
balls.
Wiffle ball's being played. You gotta go get the wiffle ball from the woods. I'm not getting that. There's poison ivy. Go get the fucking ball. There's fuck poison ivy.
You know what, Billy? You say this.
and then you fucked poison ivy.
You say this, but allergies do change. Just because you're not allergic then, you might
Actually, now I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do it again. Looking back, like I really escaped. That could have gone really badly.
Yeah, your body might change. It happens all the time.
Because I haven't had exposure to poison ivy as I did as a young child.
Was
Yeah.
this guy's wife around while this was happening? Because I feel like she may have had some objection to what was going on.
You know what? just don't worry about it.
I'm just trying to get all the details down.
Now I'm like really worried about. No,
What are you worried about?
I don't want this guy to get in trouble. It was
No
funny.
one's
It's
gonna
not weird.
know who did it.
It wasn't. Yeah. Okay. No, anyway.
It was weird.
Anyway.
Oh, it was fucking
Anyway, the New World Order is trying to kill me with an alpha gal tick.
It couldn't
Shows
possibly.
your homie's dad.
No, he's not.
I don't think that's what he was trying to do.
That is.
That's true. That's true.
It sounds like there wasn't anything
We can move on.
sexually involved in this,
It
except for the
wasn't.
fact that you were rubbing it.
It
on
was
your
more
balls.
like if you eat that it's like one of those pranks that like
Classic prank.
I don't know.
What did your mom say when you came home with $500?
I don't fucking. I'm 13. I'm keeping my money stashed. I'm
What'd
like,
you buy with
that
it?
stash that shit is shoebox money,
Yeah,
That's
baby.
dude,
rule number
fucking,
one
like,
of the
tell you-
10
tell-
crack commandments.
You make money. You like if you make like money, you're not telling your parents where that money like.
But $500 for a 13-year-old is a lot. Did you just go to the movies a ton?
By himself.
dude, I
That's how
Yeah.
he.
You don't tell
That's how he
you don't
laundered
tell
it.
your parents you make money. If
Dude, I'm
you-
buying
if you
cleats.
selling drugs.
Bro, I'm buying
or some
cleats.
shit.
Bro, where
They're
is
like,
your
Probably
mom's
got
like,
it.
oh, he's gonna go to the Dick's Sporting Goods on Fifth Avenue, and then
Is this how
no,
you?
eBay.
This is how you funded your Avatar movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I
Billy got the sickest frog that weekend.
actually, I may have actually spent it on a giant African bullfrog. Like, there's actually
Nobody questioned where that came from.
I,
or-
I would love to see a forensic accounting analysis done on Billy's accounts payable and accounts receivable from back when he was 13. Well, we had an influx of cash in Q2 when I rubbed that poison ivy all over my nuts, but unfortunately we had some significant expenditures in Q3 when I got a big bullfrog.
it was exotic off the interwebs. Shipping and handling of an exotic creature is
Did you pay
expensive.
taxes on that?
Hell no.
On that $500?
Look, man, get
Great cash, homie.
Oh, that's a great story, Billy.
that was a good.
I'm glad that you shared that with the
But-
class.
And like,
Have you
and
ever
like
been
how-
dared?
I don't
like,
know
the
how to
whole-
feel.
And the crew don't hit up this dude's dad for more bets. Like,
no,
hey, I bet you
it
out.
kind of was like he like there were other bets. Like if you could, like there's other
What kind?
examples that I can't think of right now. Like if you could,
Uh-huh.
you know,
You could rub other things on your balls.
that was probably the most quote unquote sexual bet.
My guy put that.
Were
shit
there
I
out.
would
less
put it-
sexual bets that you
no,
had
no,
made?
but like the fucking what's it called?
Fire ants, yeah.
No, icy hot.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the icy hot bet with your friends. That's what it was more akin to.
I've put icy hot on my balls as,
Yeah, exactly.
as a joke, as like a dare.
Was it fucking weird? Was it
Well,
weird?
was he 13 with adults?
I was 19 with my rugby teammates.
who were
yeah,
also
it
19.
was kind of
Yeah.
one of those things.
It's not one of those things. though.
It was kind of one of those things.
So I have a 13-year-old. If they come over and say an adult posited this kind of shit, I'm going to jail. I'm going straight to jail. I'm gonna do macrodosing live from a 1-800 number.
That'd be an awesome podcast.
Oh my god.
Alec Murdoch
Billy
got in trouble for
McFarlane.
that, though.
That's true. And Billy McFarlane did.
Oh, by the way, have
Yeah,
you
that
seen,
that
yeah.
one. That's
have you
what-
seen the Alec Murdaugh old row photos?
I have
Yes,
not.
I saw
Oh
them.
my God, that's
I saw them.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
They pictures of Alec Murdaugh from college, and he just like being a frat bro, like what he was like in like an old South party, and it's like wild. Like my mom was partying with Alec Murdaugh in college. It was like what the fuck. Great way to get off
It's okay.
poison ivy.
The convicted murderer.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was a really good story, Billy. I'm sorry for that.
Don't
That shit made my
fucking
fucking- that
don't
shit
start
made my
treating me
day,
like I'm a
dog.
fucking victim.
It's not. Hey, it's
Stop
not,
it.
It's not
Stop
your
it.
fault.
I'm not. Stop it. This wasn't weird.
I know
It wasn't
it's-
fucking weird.
it's-
Stop it.
It's not your fault.
Mad Dog, can we
It's not
also
your
do a
fault.
supercut of Billy saying
It's not
not
weird.
weird?
Yeah.
I want to know what the actual final tally is here.
Yeah. No less
Oh,
than
cool. Let's
2
let's
dozen.
do bets. Let's do bets. Okay.
Over under?
Over under. I think it was at least 25. That's my. I'm going 25.
I'm going a little bit lower.
I'm going over 50 because I was saying iterations of 3.
Okay, I was going to say 21.
What's the weirdest bet you guys have ever done?
Billy, it's not.
Again, it's not how weird what you did was. That is a tiny bit weird. What's massively weird is that you were 13 and this guy was how old? 40s.
Okay, but like
Post sports though.
After sports, just with the fellas at
Barbecue going on.
Big
Barbecue.
Jim's house.
outside, we were in bathing suits.
Okay.
Holy
Everything
shit,
you
the
say
plot thickens.
makes it worse.
Oh, Billy, why'd you say that?
This is a perfect
Bunch of
case
shirtless
study
13-year-old boys running around
in how
rubbing PONZI ivy on his
if you
balls.
let Billy keep talking about anything, he will just continue to incriminate it. Even after he's done, even if he's gotten himself out of trouble, if he keeps talking, he will find new and inventive ways to get back into trouble. Billy, if you ever get interrogated by the police, don't say a word. The only word you're allowed
Request
to
a
say is
lawyer.
lawyer.
I'm waiting for my lawyer.
That's it.
Lawyer.
You can
Don't
speak
say
to my
anything.
lawyer.
You want to see this trick I do with?
Don't say any other words.
You want to see this trick with poison ivy I can do?
You're going to get allergic to poison ivy at some point.
I think so from what I've read about it, it's more of a tolerance thing. People have different amount of tolerances, and once you become like you get enough exposure, but like some people have a higher tolerance,
Yeah.
then you start reacting to it. So I must have just had a higher tolerance than other people, but like I may have got like my luck may have run out.
I'll pay you $500 to do it again.
Fuck, I might take that deal.
Oh, inflation has hit.
Dude,
So this was 13-year-old Billy. He gave you around $800.
yeah, I mean it's if you
$700.
know like rubbing like if you know you're immune, it was the easiest fucking money you could ever make.
You know your
That's
body.
Again, we're not concerned about you getting the bread, fam.
Get paid.
I'm happy you're not scarred from it, though. I think that's the main thing.
It wasn't scarring. You
I
guys
think
are
he's
making it
reverse
weird.
scarred.
No,
He's
you
like,
guys are the ones who are making
he's
it
going
weird.
out of his way to say that it's not weird.
Yeah.
I think you guys made it weird.
Yep.
Yeah, you
Totally.
guys,
Hand up.
You guys
It
are
was
the ones
us.
that are weird.
Hand up on that one. All right, let's move on.
Oh, you
Thank
know what?
Billy. Yep, keep going.
Poland is not landlocked. I said that last episode.
Okay. Smart.
I totally forgot.
Clean that up.
It has a small shoreline. It has a pretty big shoreline on the.
What sea is that?
It's the Baltic Sea.
Baltic Sea.
Yeah.
Okay. So Poland could have blown up the Nord Stream pipeline.
Nope.
Okay.
But Britain could have.
All right, we're still working on that. That was confirmed on Tuesday's show, but I think we need to reconfirm who blew it up. Right?
Let me just. I need. Never mind.
Okay, never mind. Billy said never mind. We're going to never mind it. So we are going to talk about Silicon Valley Bank today. We've got a special guest that's going to be joining us, Tyler from Barstool Finance. You can hear him with Large. He does a podcast with him. He also writes a newsletter, so we'll get to him in a little bit. Arian, you got anything on your mind?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, man. That Billy story that's one of the funnier things that I've ever seen on this podcast. That shit had me rolling in real life. But other than that, I shot at 89 this morning.
Let's go. How many
So,
birdies?
Back in the 80s. No birdies, actually. I literally had the first 5 holes, I had a bogey, which sounds bad, but like when you're first starting out, bogey golf is good golf, man. And I didn't lose a ball.
That's big.
Whole 18 holes, not one ball lost, except for, so I was on 16, and one of these little fuckers, I'm on 16. I played through. There was 2 groups that let me play through, but they're always like really reluctant to let you play through. But anyway, I played through nonetheless. And I'm on hole 17. And I hit a really bad shot. Great drive, hit a bad shot that kind of veered off to the right. So I hit my 3rd shot, another bad shot. But I was mad, so I dropped another ball and hit another one. And it landed in the bunker, which I was fine with. So I went to go play my first ball. And I forgot about the bunker ball, right? So as I'm cleaning up, I'm putting on 18. I was like, I know I had another ball. Where did my other ball? I didn't lose a ball. I was like, I left it in that bunker. I go back, and they're playing, and I'm like, yo, did y'all see a ball? Anybody see a ball in the bunker? They was like, nah. And I asked both groups. Everybody said no. I go back to the bunker, and the ball is gone. I'm like, these motherfuckers really just jacked my shit and lied to my face. I don't know why old people on golf courses are like, I don't know, man. I've had bad experiences with old people on golf courses, man. They not as nice as they seem. They kind of assholes. But that's just me. But anyway,
There's Yeah, when people step out on the golf course, they turn into different people sometimes. They start caring about different rules. They start to get more aggressive. It's kind of like how when you get into a car, you're more likely to get mad at other drivers and you act in ways that you normally wouldn't if you're not in that car driving. You know, road rage. When you get on the course, certain things piss you off more than they would if you're in any other situation besides being on a golf course.
1,000%. And it should be the exact opposite because you out in nature, you're away from the city. Good vibes. Just relax, fam. We all out here having a good time. You out here trying to be fucking Phil Mickelson. Just relax, dog.
I like that.
Relax.
Phil Mickelson.
Mickelson.
Sir Mix a lot. Yeah.
Phil Nicklaus.
But where do we stand on the debate? JJ Watt tweeted out a video yesterday. He hit a hole-in-one on a par 3 course. And then he was asking people, does this count? Can I count this as a hole-in-one? I think you should be allowed to count that as a hole-in-one if the hole was over, I'm going to say 120 yards.
Nah, it's a hole-in-one. What do you mean?
It's like it's a real official hole-in-one for you?
Why wouldn't it be? Okay, let's for instance, your arbitrary line of 120 yards. The players at the Players Championship, the most recent PGA Tour tournament, they have one of the most famous holes in golf history, is hole 17.
Yep.
That's like 117 yards, 100 something like that. So like that's one of the most well-known holes in golf, and it's a very short hole. Now I'm not saying it's as difficult as that, but it's a par 3 course. You knocked it down. That's a hole-in-one.
Maybe my number's off. Maybe it should be 117 yards or longer then. So that one is included. But what if it's like a 80-yard par 3?
Okay, so then you're saying, okay, because sometimes you play par 3 courses and people from the red tees, right? People play from the red tees, like older people or, older women or whatever the case may be. They play from the red tees, and sometimes their yardage is 80 yards, 60 yards. So you're saying their hole-in-ones don't count?
Yes. I am saying that.
I disagree. So you say no hole-in-one from a red tee counts?
That's what I'm saying. Well, no. On a par 3, on a par 3 course.
No, I'm talking about the red tees on a regular course. The red tees on a regular course can be 80 yards, 70 yards, something like that, depending on the course. And you're saying any hole-in-one that's from the red tees doesn't count?
I would say on a regular course it counts. If it's lower than 100 yards on a par 3 course, it does not count.
Where are you getting this? What's your metric?
Just my own brain.
You feel like?
Yeah, just what it feels like.
No, but you trash though, so it don't matter.
It's true. Big T, what do you think?
I went and watched the video, and the course looked very nice, which changed it in my mind for some reason. Because I've only ever played one par 3 course, and it was dog shit. Like the worst golf course you've ever seen in your life. This looked very nice, which for whatever reason in my mind made it more real. But yeah, if you hit hole-in-one, you hit hole-in-one.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see how it's any different than hitting one on a par 3 on a regular course.
What was the yardage? Did he say the yardage?
I don't think so.
I don't think he said what it was.
That would be pertinent information. But I mean, not really. I think if you hit it, you hit it, dog. It is what it is.
Billy, what do you say?
I'm still trying to figure out what occurred.
If you
when I
got
was
touched
13.
or not.
You're processing that. Hole-in-one on a par 3 course, Billy. Does it count as a hole-in-one?
I don't give a fuck about golf.
Okay. Interesting debate. Thanks for participating.
You know what I like about you, PFT?
What?
I like how you don't take anything personal.
I try not to.
I love that, man. I have to say, like, if Big T's mad, he's talking shit to you, you're just like, okay. If Billy talks shit to you, you're just like, I see. If I talk to you, you're just like, No, it has nothing to do with
But
you.
it's not. It's
We're
not.
talking about
I
PFT.
know-
We're talking about PFT right now. We're not talking about you.
But
Billy.
me talking about golf is not like.
Billy, I was talking about me talking shit to him because I just told him he was trash. It has nothing to do with you, man. Get off the ropes, dog. Relax.
I thought it was how I
relax,
reacted
man.
to the golf question.
No, it was about how I was talking shit to him because I said he was trash.
My bad.
He was just like, okay, Big T. He just moves.
That's on me.
He just moves on. I just appreciate that. I'm into giving people their flowers, man. Because if I die tomorrow, man, at least you know where we stand. I just wanted to say that, man.
Thank you, Arian. I appreciate that. I think it's
No doubt.
if you spend as much time on the internet as we have, you hear from a lot of people, a lot of various opinions, and you can let the 5-10% of people that give you negative feedback sometimes affect you, and it does affect you, but then you reach a point where you just realize that they don't care or they don't matter, and you have to just tell yourself, let it slide off. The internet is not real life. Let it go. And I think I reached that place maybe 2-3 years ago, but it takes you a while to get there. Everyone gets there at their own speed. So when Billy does that in real life, I'm just like, oh, that's Billy. Whatever.
He's not saying I did it.
Correct. But if you were to say that, if you were to say something like that to me, I'd be like, whatever. Other people's opinions don't matter. Real happiness comes from within. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, no, I will admit, sometimes gets you, like, the percentage wise. Most people are happy customers and they don't say anything.
Yep. It's true. It's like Yelp.
Yeah.
1 or 2 bad reviews, they speak louder than the ones that give you good stars.
Like the macrodosing audience, we were like looking at the numbers, isn't very reflective on Twitter or Reddit. It's more, I'd say,
What do you mean?
like they're all listeners, but they're not active on socials.
Oh, okay.
So like,
Oh, yeah, like it's a small percentage.
like all the ones who are active on socials who complain about stuff are angry people who are angry for probably totally different reasons.
Yeah. Do you guys read the Macrodosing Reddit?
Oh,
Mad Dog does.
okay.
We shouldn't talk about them.
No.
Are they cool?
I used to have a crippling addiction to lurking, and you guys aren't gonna fucking find me because I don't have a Reddit account. I used to have a crippling addiction to the macrodosing Reddit. I have broken that addiction a couple months back. I go and check it every once in a while, just to check in. People have things to say. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
But no, I used to have a crippling addiction and would read every single piece on that subreddit.
Shout out to the Macrodosing Reddit. I will never read it, but I hope you guys are doing well. I just know that it's all love on our end, man. I hope that whatever issues you have with us, you find a way to find some peace about it, man. You know, I appreciate the listenership. And yeah, man, it's all love, man. That's great.
Actually, though, speaking of that, I saw something the other day. It actually may have been from the Reddit, so actually, shout out to whoever said this. But someone was talking about, like, why do you guys talk so meanly about people that you actively listen to? Like, why do you trash me or Billy or Big T or whoever? Like, if you're listening to this podcast, like, why just not listen? And someone gave the like analogy of, well, if the Jets lose, you're going to trash the Jets OC, you're going to trash Salah or whatever, but you still love the team.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Reddit's
also a very negative social media platform in itself.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, in any space, Twitter, whatever, like, if the Browns lose, I'm going to probably be mad at Kevin Stefanski for a couple days.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But you still, at the end of the day, you love the team.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense.
I liked that.
Yeah.
It made me feel better.
Love
That's
that. We're a team, guys.
That's a good
We're
analogy.
team.
Yeah.
And you know, I
What do you think is the most positive?
TikTok. TikTok's the most positive.
No, you're crazy.
No, I'd have to say through like the scope of comments.
Because everyone just comments, "Good job, Billy."
No. That's not even what I'm basing off of. I was like looking into this because I noticed that like Twitter's a little happier than Reddit. Redditors tend to be the people who use Reddit the most, tend to be a little more jaded on certain things. I've tried to. I looked into this a little too much because I need to like sort of, as PFT was talking about it, like what was it, like give scope to what exactly, like, because think about it, this may be getting a little too specific to us, but we process so many pieces of information and scopes of contact from so many different people. Is it comments? Is it replies from so many like different places that, like, I don't know shit about the world, and hell, I don't know shit about, processing all this information about specific to me, specific to the show and everything. So you need to like get a scope of like, why is this happening? Why is there so many negative stuff coming from this? Why is, it's just, you need to like learn about it in order to deal with it. And
you know what I noticed?
Yeah.
What I noticed, it's like, so like when the pandemic hit, I used to talk shit about people who watched reality TV, right? I was like, yo, you're an idiot. Like, it's just brain dead shit. And so, but then the pandemic hit, and like I just ran out of shit to watch. And I started watching a bunch of reality TV, and I ended up really liking it, man, for various different reasons. But what I found out is it's a lot of people's escapism, right? And so, like, when I'm watching TV, I suspend who I am as a human, right? It's just I get into that. So if you've been to medieval times, right? I get into that shit, right? I just get into character. I'm a fucking king watching my jousters joust. So, like, when I'm watching reality TV, I just become a part of the fan base. So I'm like, yo, she's fucking stupid. Like, why would she do that? Or what a dummy, right? I just get involved in it because it's like escapism. Now, if I was to meet those people on the street, I don't really feel like that. I wish them well. Like, it's all good. It's all love. But like, while I'm escaping whatever I need to escape, like, I'm just inundated in what I'm into. And I think a lot of people, like, whether it's a podcast, like like we're there. I get a bunch of messages, people like, yo, you guys just help me out through my day. Yo, I throw y'all on this. Like, we're a lot of people's escapisms, right?
Yeah.
And so you can't get attached, and I don't get attached to people's feel about that, right? Now, if you hit me up and you talk shit and you're like, hey, you was wrong about this, and I'm like, no, I wasn't, here it goes. But like, that's different. But like, if they just talking shit to talk shit, I get it, man. Like, we just kind of y'all's entertainment. Like, I understand that. And being in the league for a while, you kind of get that too. So it's just not like a personal thing. But I appreciate it either way.
People care about the characters and about the interaction, about that sort of thing. Gives you, like, you can talk about their interpersonal relationships, like it's just like you're reading a book and you're talking about the characters in a book club. So Arian, I know that you've got to run in a second. You got to duck out. Yep. We're about to do our interview with Tyler from Barstool Finance, and Avery, I know you got a meeting to jump to, but Avery, I want to give you the mic because I think there's some stuff that we need to talk about real quick.
Yeah. So today I'm not in the producer chair if you're watching on YouTube. Today is my last day on the show. The past 3 or 4 months, I've just been unhappy, not with the crew at all. We've had talks about this, and it's been tough. It's the hardest decision I've ever had to make because this is my first job. Barstool's my first job, and I'm still trying to find something here, see if we can, work something out within the company. But in terms of Macrodosing, this is my last show, and I love all you guys. This has been the best 2 years of my life doing the show. But the show is going to go to Chicago and I'm not. And I want what's best for the show. And the last 3 months I've been pretty upset, and it's been reflecting my work on the show, and I didn't want to do it any further. So with that, Mackenzie's taking over, and I really wouldn't want anybody else to take over the show. She's great. She knows what she's doing. She's an awesome producer, and she's really going to do good for this show. So I'm excited that you guys are going to have her, and I'm excited that she's the one taking my place. Yeah, love you guys. And the one request I do have is when you go to Medieval Times, I want to go.
Yes, for sure. Avery, we love you too. We appreciate all the work that you put in on the show over the last 2 years. It wouldn't be where it's at without you. So thank you for everything that you've done. Obviously, we're all rooting for you. We want you to find a place where you're happy. So where can people follow you? Because I know you're going to be putting out hockey content and stuff too.
Yeah, just everything. I've been blogging for the website, and a ton of hockey content. Pretty much everything, honestly. I've just been TikToking and blogging about. It's just my name, Avery Zaretsky, on all platforms.
Okay. Check them out. So again, thank you. Thank you, Avery.
Of course.
It's been awesome having you on the show.
Yeah, I love it. It's like my baby.
Yeah. I hope and I think that you will find something that you're going to do that's going to make you super happy, and you're going to end up on your feet.
Absolutely.
You're a smart guy. So we're all rooting for you. And
we appreciate. I just want to say my piece too, man. We appreciate you so much, man. I don't get to be there that much, but when I do, it's always love. I appreciate all the shit that you've extended my way, man. So I know the fans be on you sometimes, but a lot of love from the fans too. Like we all.
Yeah, if you ever need a bad take, I'll pop in.
For the record, I never thought Avery's takes were that bad.
Some.
He had a couple bad.
Yeah,
you had a couple bad takes, but we all do.
Yeah, I'll own up to it.
Shooters shoot. I thought that your takes were good.
Yeah,
you had good takes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna miss Billy's stories like the one he told today. That
shit was an all-time.
All-time.
We will go to Medieval Times.
Yes, I want to be in on that.
That's a promise, and we'll see all the vegetarian gladiators compete against each other.
Absolutely, and we'll do a Rangers Caps game too.
Yeah, for sure. They're playing tonight. Right? Yeah, I can't make that, unfortunately. Shit.
I'll be there.
Have fun. I'm sure you're gonna win. Caps stink now.
I don't know about that.
And I am rooting for the Rangers, though. this postseason.
Yeah, you put a future on them.
I put a future on because of your tip. Now their odds have gotten worse since I locked in that future. But that's fine. That's fine.
You might have to put another one in.
I might, get my cost per share down a little bit.
Exactly.
And he mentioned Mackenzie. She's sitting in the producer chair right now. Mackenzie's awesome. Mackenzie, you want to say hi to the people out there?
Hi, I'm very excited to be on this. So thank you guys for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah. This podcast is run by women.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. How about that?
Love it.
95% male podcast run by 2 women.
How
It's
about
a girl
that?
pod.
We're gonna
Yep.
change that. We're gonna get a little more female demo.
I think we'd love that.
Love it.
Oh, you guys should do a nano dosing at one point. The Nice Girls
Yeah.
podcast.
Also, huge dinosaur girls, the 2 of us.
Wait, are you speaking for Mackenzie?
Oh wait, Mackenzie. Mackenzie and I have worked together for about a year already.
You just mansplained to Mackenzie.
Mackenzie, do you like
That's
dinosaurs?
okay.
Or do you believe in dinosaurs?
Yeah.
That was quick. How can you be sure?
It's a good start. It's a good start, Mackenzie.
I'm going to have to do my research.
Okay, so the door is open.
Check in. Not only will there be an extra dose about a Last of Us recap, probably airing.
Whenever you want, Billy.
When should we air it? It's being recorded on Wednesday, and we can release it whenever. So this will probably be released on Thursday. So Friday?
Sure.
Where this is getting released. So an extra dosing will be released on Friday. And not only will we be talking Last of Us, but we'll be breaking down dinosaurs.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys have
Breaking
fun
news.
with that.
Yeah,
Girls-
breaking
Love
news.
you guys.
All right, love you, Avery.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
Avery.
Sam.
Appreciate it. Love you all.
Okay, before we get to Tyler, let's talk a little bit about bank runs. The history of bank runs. Now, what is a bank run, you might ask? Well, it's when people stand in line to try to get their money out of the bank before it goes insolvent. And some people are saying that there could be a bank run. There's definitely one on certain banks, certain small regional banks, but it's not at a national level just yet. So we're going to talk to Tyler more about what the effects of that are going to be for, everyday banks, not just banks like Silicon Valley. So Billy put together a very impressive fact sheet about bank runs.
It could have been finance, bro.
And Billy, you dipped your toes into the finance bro water.
Very intermediary.
Intermediary. Okay, so Billy, talk to me about bank runs.
So, a lot of historical bank runs. If any, I think the best way to describe a bank run is: have any of you guys seen the movie "It's a Wonderful Life"?
I have, but I'm usually half drunk when it airs on Christmas.
The specific scene where all the townspeople run to the bank to try to get their money out.
Yeah.
So basically, bank runs occur because there is a bit of panic amongst the bank users, the customers who have their money in the bank, and for whatever reason they think that the bank either won't be able to pay them or their money is gone, and they rush to get their money. Now, it's kind of when you're in like elementary school, you think that the bank has all your money, and every bank is filled with money.
Yep.
And all the money that they have, but that isn't realistically true. There's something that occurred way back in the day, dating back to goldsmiths, when the main holder of value was gold and silver. Goldsmiths would issue a piece of paper, promissory notes, that would indicate that that piece of paper had a specific amount of value that they could exchange for gold or silver. What this then happened was they realized that they could just issue more paper instead of actually giving out more gold in something called fractional reserve banking, meaning that you could give out more promissory notes than you actually had in gold. So this sort of developed into the modern banking system, allowed people to give loans and collect interest, and basically formed our modern banking system. We don't have to get into, we're just going to specifically focus on bank runs. But when an economic effect in turn causes a bank to not be able to pay out all of the money it has in its bank, this causes panic and causes people to run to their banks and try to pull out all the money. And then when everybody wants their money, no one can have their money, and not everyone can get paid out. So bank runs.
Yeah, so the U.S. government actually, you were talking about the gold certificates. The U.S. government, until June 5th, 1933, that's when they went off the gold standard, they were printing gold certificates.
Yeah.
So I've got a $20 bill, but it's like a slightly darker colored 20, and the font is different on it. and it can be exchanged for gold at any given time. I wonder. I should check up and see how much that's worth now. It's probably worth at least like $40 or $60 as a collector's item. So really, if you hang on to all of your paper currency for long enough, they'll become rare currency, and then 100 years from now, it'll be worth slightly more than what the cash was worth at the time.
Reverse inflation glitch.
Yep, got it. I nailed it. So I don't know what I'm talking about, for the record. I'm not a financial person. Don't take advice from me. But my investment strategy would be burying all of your cash in the backyard and then waiting for 200 years and having your great-great-grandchildren dig it up.
This is actually where Bitcoin actually starts to make sense to me.
Let's go. Okay.
No, but so during the Great Depression, one of the most famous bank runs, there was the 1929 stock market crash. American depositors began to panic and seek refuge in holding physical cash. And then the first bank failure due to mass withdrawals occurred in 1930 in Tennessee. This was like seemingly minor, much like what we're seeing with Silicon Valley Bank, which we're going to get into with Tyler. But it was the first domino that caused everyone to panic and everyone tried to get their money out of their banks. So then there was a string of subsequent bank runs across the South in the 1930s, and then the entire country as a people heard what happened and sought to withdraw their own deposits before they lost their savings, a herding behavior that only sped up more bank runs via negative feedback loop. So basically, when everyone panics, it causes a stampede, everyone tries to take their money out, basically taking out everyone's savings, causing no money to be then loaned out. So I was reading a book. I'm reading up about financial stuff just because better to be more informed. But back in the day, if you didn't keep your money in a bank, it was bad for the economy. Like if you had your money under your mattress, it was bad for the American economy because that money could be in a bank and being loaned out by bankers to cause expansion, cause more development by getting loans out to people who are trying to do big things, be it a company. What's the word I'm looking for? Innovation, to fund innovation. Your money under your mattress wasn't helping funding innovation and the rebuilding of the country. That was like the big thing. So it's funny today, we all think of like, all your money is in the bank. Like it's almost like you would never think to have physical money. Like it's all digital, which actually has caused more innovation because everyone has, they get all their paychecks, you put it into your bank, you put it into your savings accounts, put it into your checking account. All that money does get lended out by the bank. And it's kind of really cool to understand that nowadays, bank runs only really happen on these smaller banks because we've gotten to the point where most people with a mind are putting their money in the bank who aren't drug dealers.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how I do just think of money now as being
digital,
just like numbers on my phone, numbers on my computer, unless I just won the lottery ball machine, in which case Billy has to give me a bunch of cash that I carry around.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, by the way.
So yeah, this one in the Great Depression, this one bank in Nashville in the 1930s caused a whole domino effect of, the Great Depression almost.
So Tennessee started the Great Depression.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Disavow.
So when this happened, the U.S. government set up several regulatory mechanisms to prevent this from ever happening again. They established the FDIC Corporation, Federal Deposit Insurance Company, which insures depositors up to $250,000 per banking institution. Then we thought everything was fine. We almost made it to 100 years of no serious economic collapse. Then the 2008-09 financial crisis happened, and there was several bank runs. On September 25th, 2008, Washington Mutual, the sixth largest American financial institution at the time, was shut down by the U.S. Office of Thrift Supervision. Over the ensuing days, depositors had withdrawn more than $16.7 billion in deposits, causing the bank to run out of short-term cash reserves. The very next day, Wachovia Bank was also shuttered for similar reasons when depositors withdrew $15 billion over a 2-week period after Wachovia reported negative earnings results earlier that quarter.
Maybe someone can explain this to me, unless you know the answer to this, Billy. But when bigger banks absorb smaller banks, how is that? Why would a big bank look at a small bank that is going insolvent and say, "Yeah, I want to buy this," just to get all their customers, and they've got the bigger bank, they've got bigger cash reserves, so they can afford it?
It's kind of like,
is that the like give and take that they use to justify that?
Well, every company and even every bank is just a balance sheet. So like, why would Penn buy Barstool? It's, they're probably seeing the smaller bank and being like, we're getting it at a good price because they have debt that they can't handle, but they have debt that we can handle. And then we get their customers, we get their assets, we get like there is something, they can make of it. It's weird. Banking, big. We're no experts. Tyler's going to come on. He's much more experienced in all this. But we're seeing the beginnings of a bank run now with Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate. Silvergate is going under because they basically were doing all the banking for the crypto companies. FTX caused Silverbank to go. That's something I can.
We're still seeing dominoes from that.
Yeah.
There's too many S and Bs involved recently. SBF, SVB. It gets confusing.
Signature. I think that the Silvergate was basically a bank that knew it was operating with risky money. They were giving out loans and financing companies that most people didn't want to touch because they thought it was sketchy. So like, who is financing Sam Bankman-Fried in the Bahamas? Orgies, meth, condos, pools, giant pools, pool bars, meth.
A lot of pool.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question about that? So a bank like Silvergate?
Yeah.
Okay, if they take on a institution like FTX or something, and I'm assuming that they didn't think it would collapse like it did, but in my brain, wouldn't you want your assets of safer investments to outweigh the amount of money that FTX has in the bank? So like if FTX collapsed, like
you're talking about risk management.
Yeah,
is that what that is?
Yeah.
These guys were just risky. They wanted the risky.
Why would you do that? Like, what's the point of that? I don't understand the reward if it goes crazy.
Because in the moment, if you're making a lot of money from one customer, you like that money and you want that money to keep coming in.
But then something like FTX happens and then all of that money goes away.
Yeah, you're talking about risk management. This is
okay. So this is literally what risk managers do.
Common sense that
okay.
Greed sometimes. Like you, from your seat, you're like,
I have the common sense.
You have the common sense.
Okay.
And when things are good, you don't think about worst case scenarios that much. When things are good, you're like, this is awesome. How do I make this good thing even better? Oh, well, maybe we'll take more money from this customer because if you set up like a cake store at the bottom of an apartment complex. And you've got one customer that lives there that fucking loves cake, right? Absolutely just eats nothing but cake every day. They stop in twice a day to buy cakes. You want to, and they ask you, hey, could you start making this specific type of cake that you guys don't make yet? But the ingredients cost a lot of money. I've been looking for it everywhere. If they're your biggest customer, you're probably going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go out. I'm going to buy that special type of dye, the special type of frosting.
Because you want to make that customer happy.
Because this is my whale. This person's buying all the cake from me. So you start getting these contracts in place to get all these shipments in, make this person a cake, and then that person moves out. And now you've maybe expanded your business a little bit. You've got all sorts of weird flour coming in from Indonesia that you don't need for this one person's cake.
With cordyceps in it.
Starts a whole thing.
And then, and now you can't sell cakes anymore at the same level, so your expenses have increased.
Clickers don't buy cakes.
Isn't that the sum of
clickers buy cakes too?
Do they?
It's like the Michael Jordan thing with sneakers. But it's people's jobs. If you're in finance,
like your number one guy is so big that you can't afford to not have the number one guy.
So your job should be looking at that and thinking worst case scenarios through and trying to mitigate all that. But a lot of times it's just human nature to be like, well, times are good. I'm going to make more money off this person.
But Silvergate had other clients which were less risky. Like
Coinbase. I'd assume.
Yeah, Coinbase, Gemini. They were servicing a lot of crypto companies. But the thing is, because of FTX going under, not only did they get impacted by losing their business and their assets, crypto customers just started not trusting any of the crypto companies.
Yeah.
So they didn't trust any of the crypto companies?
Yeah. So even Coinbase, Gemini, like the other ones that were operating and doing legal business, just holding large amounts of crypto and like being a broker for them, a lot of crypto customers are like, fuck that, I'm out of crypto. FTX just fucked the whole business.
I also think places like FTX that only exist online, they don't have physical locations that you can go to. it makes you less likely to take your customers' deposit seriously, because if you work at I don't know, Chase, you know that at the end of the day, if you fuck up too bad, people are going to show up at your bank in person, and then it's just chaos. But if you're operating entirely online, you never have that fear in the back of your head that the public that I'm servicing, if I screw them over, they're going to show up with pitchforks and try to get all their shit out.
Yeah.
One more question. This may be a dumb question. The risk management thing was a little bit dumb. This
No,
may
it
be
wasn't
dumb.
dumb. You were way more rational than a lot of these guys. That's
Okay.
yeah.
So, okay, so a Coinbase, because Coinbase is all crypto, right?
Yeah.
Coinbase, FTX, like crypto, just companies, I guess. This is gonna sound so dumb. What do they do with bank accounts if they're like a crypto company? Wouldn't they have all of their assets in crypto, or is that irresponsible? Does that make sense?
No, they have cash on hand. So like as a broker,
if I buy one Bitcoin and then I buy it in 2015 and I just sold it like this year, the cash that I get from selling that is what the crypto accounts have in the bank accounts.
so brokers the brokers popped up in the crypto market. I can't believe I'm explaining crypto. I'm not a crypto bro, but the brokers popped up because it was very hard to buy Bitcoin by itself, because you literally had to have a wallet, have like a flash drive. It was very nitty gritty. It was literally like
There was a really high barrier to entry.
like if you wanted to buy gold right now, you'd go to a gold broker most likely. You wouldn't go to a mine and knock on
Wouldn't
a
be like
shack
Gold
door.
Rush Alaska.
Be like, yeah, can I buy some gold? And then they
Right.
would give you a piece of gold. You'd probably just buy it from a gold broker.
Okay.
So they hold both the gold and the cash. So they take your cash and give you
The gold.
the gold, but you can only access it from them.
Okay.
So all
I get
that
it.
cash they get, they then put in the bank to, invest in different things and, hopefully accrue interest, and hopefully crypto goes up in price. And then hopefully not everyone comes back and asks for their money and
All at the
cashes out
same
there.
time, because
Yeah.
I know how bank works. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, Silicon Valley Bank just had bad assets on its balance sheet. Basically, they bought treasury notes a year ago that now are the best way to explain it is, let's say Topps released a bunch of rookie cards 1 year, and you bought all of them thinking that they'd be way more valuable than any other ones to come and sell in the future. But then the next year they released even more exclusive sophomore cards for the players, and they were going to be more valuable no matter what in the future. It would basically totally devalue those rookie cards that you got.
Right.
So they raised the rates, which made the new products more desirable than the ones they had invested in.
There were too many apes
Too many apes.
Does this affect you on a personal level?
on my
On your
3 board apes per episode.
Oh, I thought it was 4.
4. Well, yeah, 4. Technically, I get 1 slurp juice, and then I can turn 3 into 4.
Is that bad for you?
Yeah, it's really bad for me. Very bad news. My Cum Rocket shares are down too, so that's not good. I remember the day after that we put out the crypto episode, Cum Rocket it shot way up. It did, and it was all Yeah, it was all because people saw us talking about Cum Rocket, and they were like, "This is it, big podcast talking about Cum Rocket. We're going to the moon." That should be like, that's their business model basically. If you start a shit coin, if you just get anybody with an audience to say the name of your coin, then you're like, hell yeah, this is good. And that should be like clue number 1, that it means nothing. That the thing that you're buying is actually kind of worthless and only dependent on people believing in it. Which some people will actually say money. That's basically money. Is if people stop believing in paper money, then it becomes worthless. But everybody believes in it.
You don't really have a choice, but if everyone did collectively decide this is nothing, then it's nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of
We
wild.
just
to think
don't
about.
have a choice.
Yeah,
Isn't that what Jack Max says?
that's why Jack Max says a lot of things.
But
That's true.
we say once every 2 weeks we're going to get Jack on this show, but we have to soon.
Yeah, he's got some wild takes
to
for sure.
do a Bitcoin / eat the bugs episode.
Banks
Yeah.
are zero, all of that.
Yep. All right, Billy, you got anything else on bank runs for us?
Just when the banks start running. No. When people start running to the banks.
Best way to avoid that is to just live at the bank. If you're really about the bank, you don't have to run to the bank. You're already there.
No, would you like to think that the federal government has instituted enough restrictions to prevent any of these historical events from happening? But we're seeing one right now, and I was very curious about it, so I wanted Tyler to come on and sort of give us a little info on what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's a big cycle. It's a big cycle in politics where if you want people to like you and to vote for you, you remove restrictions, and then people make more money, and then people make too much money, they get stupid, and then you need to put more restrictions in place to dial it back. But then once you dial it back, people aren't making as much money, they're less likely to vote for you, somebody else gets in, and then that person's like, let's take all of these restrictions off, and the cycle just continues to repeat itself over and over again. It's beautiful in a way. All right, let's get to Tyler. We're going to talk about Silicon Valley Bank and some bank run stuff, and then we'll do voicemails on the other side. All right, welcome on a very special guest, a coworker. It's Tyler from Barstool Finance. He works with Large. I think you know what you're talking about. You are the Barstool Finance guy, so take for that what you will. And it looks like you're zooming into us. Are you in heaven right now?
I am in South Florida, actually. I took like my first vacation. Well, it's not really a vacation, like a working vacation in probably like 5 years. And of course, like the biggest thing in finance happened during that time. So it's been fantastic.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us because we're, no disrespect to everybody on the show, myself included, but we're dumbasses and we don't really know what we're talking about, especially when it comes to finance. I think when we did,
I'm not a dumbass. I don't know.
with finance,
I mean, there's a reason that I do finance at Barstool and not a real, house of finance.
it's a target rich environment here. There are a lot of people that need financial education. So rather than us trying to explain it just based off of Billy's fact sheet, which I'm sure is great.
I was just talking about bank runs. I want to know what exactly is going on with these new banks. I mean, people are talking 2008. I just want to know what's different. Is it 2008? Should I panic?
Okay, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. I think let's set the table, though. Can you explain to us what is happening?
Yeah, so Billy's not wrong. It was basically a bank run. So we had Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank collapse over the weekend, which was the second and third largest bank failures in U.S. history, besides Washington Mutual, which failed during the 2008 collapse.
Okay, and so why did Silicon Valley Bank fail?
Yeah, so the simplest way to explain it, and this is actually, I guess there's a little confusion on my end too about why people think it's a bigger deal. I think it's actually somewhat contained. But the basic idea of it is that they had invested a lot of there's two things that happened. So they, obviously being in Silicon Valley, they were working with a lot of startups. So with the Fed raising interest rates quite a bit recently, a lot of the companies that were pouring money into all of these startups were kind of holding back a little bit, and they weren't pouring as much money into them, which meant that all these companies that were depositing all their cash at Silicon Valley Bank were just spending it because they needed to continue growing and they needed to continue making payroll, all of that good stuff. So Silicon Valley Bank was paying out a lot of money, but there wasn't a whole lot of money coming in. And so when that happens at a bank, they obviously need to reach into their coffers to make sure that they can pay everyone out. And so one of the things that Silicon Valley Bank had done with their money, as you guys know, when a bank gets money in, they're going to do one of a couple things. They're either going to invest it in like pretty safe investments, or they're going to lend it out to other people. Well, it turns out that Silicon Valley Bank invested it in mostly treasuries and other like mortgage-backed securities, some other things that were relatively safe, or so they thought. And so those things were paying pretty low interest rates. So they did this probably, I would say a couple years ago. They've been doing this, right? And those are long-term investments. You're thinking like 10, 20, 30-year investments. The problem is they need to sell off a lot of those investments in order to pay people out. Now, since the Fed has been raising rates for quite some time, there are now investments out there, treasuries that are paying a whole lot more. So when they were buying these treasuries, they were say paying a couple percent. Now you can get a treasury that's paying 4 or 5%. So the value of these treasuries that they're holding on to are a whole lot less. So over the weekend, when they needed to pay out a bunch of their depositors, they took a massive hit. So they actually sold, I believe the number was, they sold $21 billion worth of securities, and they took a $1.8 billion hit on that. And that's because they had to sell these securities at below their actual value because the market's not going to pay a lot for them because there are treasuries out there that are paying, a whole lot more. So why would somebody want them? So it was more of a really shitty timing thing, and the fact that the Fed continues to raise interest rates.
So,
they got buried by
got it. So if you're a bank, what are the regulations in place about you having to keep a certain amount of cash available to pay out all of your depositors?
Yeah, I don't fully know what like the percentage of that is of what they need to keep on hand at all times. But I know that there's certain things. There is like a certain amount of cash, but I think it's a fairly low, like between 8 and 10%, or like between 5 and 10% of just cash. And then there's other stuff where they can put it in very safe investments or loan it out. And so the problem becomes when, that 5 to 10% goes away really quickly when people are asking for their cash. That's when the issues happen. And then, of course, to Billy's point, that's when a bank run happens because people start to hear about this and they say, oh, shit, I want my money out. I don't want to be the last person standing there with my money left in that bank. So then kind of one thing feeds into another. And then we had a bunch of these guys like in Silicon Valley that were saying like, hey, if you're one of my portfolio companies, I want you to pull all of your money out of here, which is kind of interesting because they were all the guys who kind of helped build this bank over the past, 30 or 40 years. And now a lot of them are changing their tune, coming out this week and saying, if somebody buys Silicon Valley Bank, we're going to go and support them again. But it's like, you guys kind of just ruined them. There are actually some rumors swirling that it was the All In podcast, which is a big finance podcast, that actually caused the bank run and stuff, which may or may not be true. But
I would definitely claim that if I were them.
Yeah.
I would definitely claim that it was my podcast that did it if I were them.
Yeah, I mean they're all investors though, so I feel like it's not the best thing. But I mean, I guess at the end of the day, all of the companies are totally fine. This is basically ended up being a bailout for Silicon Valley and all the tech bros out there, because a lot of those companies probably would have collapsed.
Yeah, I think it was David Sachs that was like earlier this week or late last week saying the government needs to step in and take care of all the investors here and help them out. But he was also one of the loudest voices when it came to like student loan debates, things like that. If it's individuals getting rescued by the government, he's like, no, fuck them. But when it's time for tech investors to get paid out, he's like, the government needs to do something.
You know what's the most fucked up thing about that whole ideology? Because it does make sense. It's that since they're bailing out richer people who the money is accumulatively less, like comparatively to them, like whereas the people who you give the student loans buyback to, like you just forgive their student loans, will actually use that money in the economy, whereas the rich people won't. Like the people who get bailed out won't use that money. Yeah. So like it will affect inflation because the money's more useful to those individuals with student loans as opposed to like a wealthy Silicon Valley investor who probably will just put it into savings.
Yeah, well, the only argument to that is all of them would just say like trickle down economics, right? They're going to create jobs. There is an argument there that it is protecting, kind of the American way, that like we're always innovating and creating new companies, and it would have been pretty bad and fairly disastrous for the economy if all these companies did fail. But yeah, I mean, it's not super capitalist when you really think about it. And actually, a lot of people are coming out and saying that now, like actually Ken Griffin, which is also very rich, right? Because he bailed out all of his buddies during the Robin Hood drama. And now he's coming out and saying that, these tech companies should have been left to fail. But.
Arian, I saw you shaking your head.
Oh, yeah. I've said it many times on this podcast. Trickle down economics just doesn't work. It's time after time. And I don't know what Buddy feels about it, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's been proven not to work very well, but I think it's just like the argument that that rich folks are going to maintain, especially people who are quote unquote creating jobs with, by backing these startups.
I think we just need to give it more time. I think we need to give it 40, 50 more years, and then we'll see at that point if trickle-down economics works.
So that's the story with Silicon Valley Bank. Now, how does this Silvergate and Signature Bank, how do they end up closing down? Because everyone's talking like domino effects. First one's going, then the next one's go. Like let's say I have money in JP Morgan Chase. I have a checking account and savings account. Do I have to panic here? Is there something, like, what do I do?
No, so I think the answer. So there's two things there. I think to answer your first question, no, and I think that's actually part of the problem for all the regional banks right now. Is the fear is that they are small enough to fail. So there's been a huge withdrawal from all these regional and like smaller players, like your mom and pop banks, and all the money is going to your big banks because everyone's like, well, those aren't going to fail. The government cannot let those fail, as we saw in 2008. So there's that fear that they're going to, a lot of these banks are going to get crushed by that, and they're going to pull all of their money there. So I wouldn't worry about if you're in JP Morgan. Maybe I'd worry a little bit if you're in a smaller bank. We did just talk about your finances, Billy, on the podcast. I don't know if you're sitting on more than $250K, but I think you might be below the FDIC insurance limit. And also, I don't know if that's true or not, but the other thing is it appears, right, that we're finding that the bailout, they're pretty much saying the FDIC insurance is unlimited at this point. So I think in like the near term, you're going to be okay.
Is that a dangerous precedent to set, though, by saying, okay, we're just going to ignore the FDIC, the previous limits, and we're going to raise it to infinity? At that point, can't any bank that ever collapses, can't people just demand that the Fed comes in and rescues them?
Yeah, I mean, yes, in theory, they could hope for that. I think it's really just a matter of what the government's incentive is to rescue that bank or like that set of people, right? Like, so it could have been a very different, like if it was coal miners in West Virginia that were, had their bank failing, it's like, would the government have stepped in? I don't know. Like there's a lot of nuance to it of like who they were saving and why they were saving them. And then to your point about Signature Bank, Billy, there's actually been a lot of rumors there that may have been shut down because interestingly, the New York State stepped in first there. And New York State has been very hard on crypto banks, and Signature was the second biggest crypto bank behind Silvergate, which also failed. And so there's some thoughts there that they may have stepped in and tried to shut that down just to crush the crypto industry.
Okay.
But meanwhile, Bitcoin's going up.
Yeah, I wrote about the newsletter yesterday. It's kind of interesting. I feel like Bitcoin is finally having that moment that they've been waiting for like 10 years, where it's finally, the thing that's going to save everyone. It's finally going to be the currency that everyone turns to when shit hits the fan, because gold has been going up too. And so everyone always thought that, Bitcoin was going to be the digital gold. So maybe this is its moment. I don't know. It's hard to make out what that means. Maybe everyone's happy because, these banks that are, more strictly, looked at in the US, maybe some of the stuff's going to go offshore where it's a little bit easier to get away with stuff as we've seen in the past. So it's a little unclear what's happening there. But yeah, it is interesting that Bitcoin's been up. It's up like 15-20% in the past couple days.
Last question. What, compared to 2008?
Wait, Bill, did you just unilaterally declare last question?
I don't know. I'm
you don't have, he's done. He's done.
My last question. My last question.
I see how this has been going.
No, my last question, which I meant to say. Compared to 2008, what sort of regulations were either repealed or what caused something like this to happen again? Like, why can this possibly happen? I thought we went through all of this in 2008. Why is like even an inkling of a recession or banks collapsing and having to do bailouts even on the table?
Well, some people are going to point to our previous president. So Trump actually repealed pulled back some of this stuff from the 2008 Dodd-Frank rules. So it's a little bit easier for these smaller banks to get away with stuff. I'm not so sure that they would have. actually captured this, because I know we had talked about like what the difference was between 2008 and this. And 2008 was much more of like a credit crisis, right? Because it was subprime mortgages that had gone bad, and that kind of spread throughout all the banks, which all had exposure to, to all of these loans. And so it's a little bit different in that this is like a depositor issue, right? So it's kind of like what they had invested in, versus it being like a credit issue. So I'm not actually 100% sure that Dodd-Frank and all the rules and regulations had, would actually help it. But to your point, I think there was also like in 2000, I don't know, whatever it was, whenever Trump was in office, they actually got rid of some of these, and that's what some people are pointing at. So if I had to guess, the current administration is going to go ham with, with banking industry regulation, as I'm sure they probably want to do anyways. But now they have the excuse to go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Billy, you just asked your last question.
I killed my last question.
Big T.
Yeah, so we talked about the 250 grand thing a minute ago. That was my main thing. So does that just not exist anymore? Because now anybody can, like, how could they revert back and say, okay, now it's only 250 grand when I think I saw 97% of Silicon Valley Bank's deposits are more than that.
Right. That's a really great question. It's like, when do they go back? Is there just going to be like a drop dead date and it's like, this is when we go back? Or if in like 2 months some other bank fails, is that going to happen? I don't know. That's obviously, a question for the FDIC, and I'm sure Congress will have to take that up, and it will take forever. But I think this is, again, one of those things where it's, not to bring up COVID and get this episode flagged, but it's one of those things where it's like an emergency order that they're going to utilize, and just hope that they can work under that.
Interesting. So hypothetically, if somebody had more than $250,000 in a bank account, should they go across the street to Bank of America and be like, "Hey, I need my money"? Put in a mattress, hypothetically.
We get it, PFT. You get paid a lot. I would say no. Don't do that. The one thing, I think it was Giannis, right? He said that he keeps a bunch of different accounts with all less than $250,000. I guess if you're keeping that much money in a bank account, it's probably stupid. So that's the first thing. Like, you should probably be investing it or doing something else with that much money. But no, I don't think there should be like any real concern. And granted, I don't have any insider information into the banking system of the US, but like, I don't think there's going to be this massive bank run or, massive collapse of major banks or even any more regional banks. Just because so in addition, that's another thing, in addition to them saying that they're going to backstop all depositors, for the next year, the Fed came out and said that it's going to give loans to any banks that it needs to cover any of these issues. So anything that's, related to Silicon Valley Bank or any other sort of, thoughts of potential collapse. So I think there's like plenty of backstops in place for at least probably the next year or so.
Okay, so you mentioned Giannis. I'm looking at his lifetime earnings so far are $188,837,362.
He has 47 bank accounts.
So
that'd be way more than that. It'd be 4 times 188, which is like 750-ish.
He would have 755 bank accounts. Do you think Giannis has 755 different savings accounts set up?
He might. I would like to think that he has some of his money elsewhere, and he's invested a little more intelligently than that. But I mean, he could. There's plenty of banks in the U.S., right? And it's actually like, I believe that it's like every entity, so he could just be starting like LLCs and have, different money elsewhere.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna just cut to the chase. Who's going to jail? Who should we be mad at? I need one guy to point my finger at. It's tough to be like the entire bank. I want one guy to get mad at.
I get like the CEO, right, is always the obvious culprit here. But But I think like most of the CEOs during the 2008 financial crisis, they're just gonna be like, I don't know. Like there were people doing this, lower level guys doing this. We had no idea what was going on. They were hiding it from us. So he'll probably pass the blame. I think the easiest scapegoat here is probably Silicon Valley, technocrats. I think easiest to point the finger at them because everyone kind of hates them anyway. So like Silicon Valley billionaires who were really pushing for this is a good one. And then I think the other person is Bill Ackman. He always kind of puts his foot in his mouth recently when these things come up. And so he was kind of calling for the collapse of the financial system, like the entire financial system all weekend. So, he's another easy target because he's a billionaire. So anyone who's made a lot of money, especially in investing in the tech space, probably a good person to look at.
I also saw some people getting upset that the bank was too woke. People saying that it collapsed. The bank was too gay, and that's the reason why this happened.
Yeah, I think it was Wall Street Journal came out with a pretty ridiculous article, and it was basically like if they hadn't focused on diversifying their board with like, it was like one LGBTQ person, one veteran, one person of color, all of these different things, they would have been able to pick up on these issues rather than focusing on that. But anytime, I was just reading an article before this about like how ChatGPT is getting super woke and like it hates men and Republicans. So I think anytime you're talking about anything in Silicon Valley, it's going to get kind of the woke label on it.
Got it. Arian, what you got?
Not much, man. I mean, you hit on all the points that we kind of know about. Do you know anything about I was reading up on this stuff, but do you know anything about the Glass-Steagall Act?
No, I know what it is. I've heard of it, but never really looked into it.
Right. No, I didn't want to put you on the spot. I just curious as to like if you know like the basic level, just to explain like what different kind of banks there are and why there are different kinds of banks, like private versus state banks, investment banks, stuff like that.
So there were some changes, right? So like a lot of that is so they can't take like crazy speculative, because there was a point, right, when like your typical bank could also be like your savings bank could be an investment bank, and they were basically taking these crazy risks with your money. And so I don't know if the Glass-Steagall was what changed that or if that was more recent. But there were some changes around that. But yeah, I don't know fully what Glass-Steagall did.
Why would anybody use a regional bank? Why do regional banks exist instead of having these massive big banks that are also available for people? Like, why would I take my money and put it in Silicon Valley Bank as opposed to using Chase or Citi or Bank of America?
Yeah, so I think there's two things there. So I think Silicon Valley Bank, I think it attracted a lot of people because it catered to like tech and startups, and they were actually giving, so some of the lending business that they did do, they were taking on loans that, people, otherwise wouldn't take, like a bank would not take, right? Like Bank of America is happy to give you a loan for a car or a house if you have great credit. But like if you're looking to fund your, AI powered butt plug startup, right? They're going to, want to make sure that you have a lot of collateral, and someone like Silicon Valley Bank was taking on those loans. So I would say that's probably why the tech space was so interested in Silicon Valley Bank. On the regional bank side, I think a lot of it is probably like proximity to, grandma and grandpa being able to go into, a regional bank and knowing who they are. They also, tend to offer some better opportunities as far as like saving, like the yield on savings accounts, stuff like that. And one of the big things, and I think the fear is that this is going to even make it worse, is that people are going to, just kind of be like, fuck it, I'm going to Bank of America or Citi or JP Morgan because it is safer. And they've also been getting killed recently because, these regional banks just can't do the same with, the amount of investment, especially in technology, that these other big banks have been making. So they've already been on the decline and getting kind of gobbled up by big banks. And I think that's probably just going to continue from this. And that's partially, I imagine, one of the reasons that, that the Fed stepped in to backstop some of this stuff, is to kind of kind of halt that a little bit.
It sounds like a lot of self-dealing. It sounds like Silicon Valley Bank, because they were in bed with all the big investors and those big firms out in that part of the country, and they were steering all of the people that they had invested in to their friends at Silicon Valley Bank, who also had a business relationship with those big firms. Is that not just like self-dealing?
Yeah, more or less. And then they turned on them as soon as shit hit the fan.
Yeah, of course. They're like, well, we already told you that there was going to be risk if you invested there, but we told you were only getting our money if you then put your money in this bank that I have a business relationship with.
And it's kind of crazy because now a lot of them are coming out and saying like, well, you should have had like the foresight to not have all your money in the bank, right? So I think Roku, granted it's a bigger company, but they had like 50% of their cash. And I think BuzzFeed actually had most of their cash in Silicon Valley Bank, which isn't entirely surprising. But they're, a lot of these VCs and investors are coming out and saying like, you should have known that from a risk management perspective. And I think that's pretty hard to say. Like it's one of those things you don't really think about, I think, as an American, especially like maybe if you're a startup founder, you probably have some other stuff on your plate. So I think that's kind of a hard thing to say to somebody. Like I started, the newsletter before it got bought by Watercooler or by Barstool. And like, I would never once think like, wow, I need to diversify my bank account. Granted, I don't think I ever had $250K in the bank, but it's just one of those things that I don't think a typical startup, would think of, especially in its earlier stages. Maybe someone like Roku, who's publicly traded, probably should.
Shout out BuzzFeed though for still being around. That's the big headline that I took away. So that what you're telling me is like the load speed on their slideshows that's going to go way down. They're not going to be able to upgrade their technology. I need to know which cast member of Girls I am. I need to be able to take that quiz and have it pop right up.
Well, they're I don't know if you saw, but their stock like a couple of weeks ago, they announced that they were just going to start writing stuff with ChatGPT, and their stock like doubled overnight.
That was my idea.
So now,
but Billy, you're coming for our jobs?
No, I literally said on this show like months ago, I was like, why doesn't someone just start a blog that's all ChatGPT written blogs? It'd be faster than humans. It would get the clicks out there faster. It would be a literal farm, and be like, it would cost nothing to run besides like electricity.
We need to take Billy out. Billy, the way that you're talking is very dangerous for future employers.
I know you're going to cost us all jobs.
I know. As a lazy person, like I'm kind of lazy, but like I'm like ChatGPT does my job way faster than I can do my job. Yeah. I admit that. So like, why not just employ ChatGPT to write multiple blogs and just like run the company?
But what you're not realizing, Billy, is that a big part of your job is being hilariously wrong about stuff, and they can't. I don't know if they can invent a robot.
ChatGPT is intelligent AI.
Yeah, I don't know if they can invent an AI system that's hilariously wrong on purpose about things,
like clickbait headlines, just like pure clickbait. Like I think CNET was trying to do. Blogs. Yeah, no smut. Yeah, ChatGPT can't get horny.
No, yeah, that's a good point.
You can't. We got him there, boys.
Yeah, ChatGPT could not upload Guess That Ass.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be able to judge smoke shows correctly.
I actually have more questions.
No, but there's plenty of image generators that I'm sure we could make Guess That Ass with.
Yeah.
I know I last questioned myself. Yeah. I don't know why I did that.
You need to ask permission to ask another question.
Do I have permission to ask more questions?
Yes.
No, I got one more. So there's like I don't want to say a debate, but there's people on both sides of this.
Is this gonna be another tough one, Arian? You're gonna ask me about?
I hope not. Do you believe that banks are a Ponzi scheme?
No, because in theory, they're trying to hold all of your money in a safe way, right? So, like, even though it kind of didn't work out from a timing perspective, in Silicon Valley Bank did have all of your money. Well, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, maybe a little bit.
It's like so. Like, I understand both sides of that argument. I really truly do. I'm like really bipartisan on it. Like I understand, but I think it really comes down to if their investments work out or not, and that's kind of what matters. If it's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, I guess
the intention is better. I think the intention is good.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean it's tough, right? Because I've heard like that argument, you hear other arguments. It's like, well, why isn't a bank just like holding my money? It's like, well, what's the incentive for a bank to exist then? Like they're not going to be able to make any profit. And then it's like, all right, well, let's just make them all state owned. Like that's right. Like that would have to be if we were just having a place where you could put your money and it could sit there, like you couldn't expect to make any money off of it, and it would be 100% safe, and you could store it all there. It would have to be government owned because there's just no incentive for banks. So yeah, I think there's a fine line between like where they keep it and how they invest it and who they loan it out to, and yeah, potentially being a Ponzi scheme. But I think overall, like I would never categorize banks as a Ponzi
I think
scheme.
the big difference is transparency. So if you're in a Ponzi scheme, you don't know that it's a Ponzi scheme. With a bank, they're supposed to have all this documentation. Right. You're supposed to, in theory, know where all the money's going, and you understand that there might be some risk involved. With a Ponzi scheme, they're telling you that they're doing something different with your money than what they actually are. And if you started a Ponzi scheme, but I guess scheme is probably the big difference there. Like one's a scheme, and if you start a Ponzi scheme, but you told everybody it was a Ponzi scheme, and you're like, hey, you want to be one of the first people to invest because then you'll get your money back. Like in a Ponzi scheme out in the open, would that be illegal?
Well, that's kind of the. I think, because you said that with the bank, there's a little bit of risk, right? There's risk involved. With the Ponzi scheme, more often than not, there's a risk. It's just they oversell it.
Yeah.
That's why I really understand both sides of that argument. I was just curious on his take on it.
Yeah, well, I guess you don't know I guess it depends. Like with a Ponzi scheme, just watch the Bernie Madoff thing, right? It's like he was giving you information and saying like, hey, here's how much you're making, here's how much, how we're making it. So yeah, I guess the transparency thing, is there, but yeah, I mean, there's also just regulation, right? There's no one regulating a Ponzi scheme. At least the government is trying to, ride that fine line between letting them kind of run fast and loose, but also trying to protect the consumer.
Big T, what you got?
Yeah.
Nothing else, I don't think.
I gotta empty the clip.
Okay, permission granted.
Does a bank like Silicon Valley Bank offer any products that are better than like a large institutional bank? Like, are you getting better interest at Silicon Valley Bank? Like if you're putting your money in there, what really would it, besides, I mean, I guess like getting loans from there, like they are flexible as you said, but like for the person who's just putting money in there.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what their rates are, but typically, yeah, like a regional bank would be a little bit higher, or try to be a little bit higher because they have to be competitive, right? So typically a little bit higher. And then the one thing that a bank like that is trying to do is they want to be kind of your all-encompassing, your one-stop shop. So Silicon Valley Bank would be like, all right, well, let's take the startup, we're going to give him a little bit of a better rate. We're going to help him get a credit card. We're going to help him get that loan that he probably can't get from anywhere else. And then their ideal goal is when that dude has like a huge exit, that they get to manage his money, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say like if there's anything like really better about it, but I think it's like a level of service and the amount, like the little perks that they'll give people. And then I think to PFT's point is like they're going to they're also going to be recommended to that bank by like the smartest people in the room and all of their advisors.
So jumping back to Roku for a second, you said that they had, what was it, like $450 million in Silicon Valley Bank?
Yeah.
So
it was something, I think up to almost 50% of their cash in there.
You can point at the CFO of Roku and be like, this guy definitely should have known that this was bad, right? Maybe the CEO doesn't monitor all the different accounts that they have all the time. But if you're the CFO and that's your job, that's a huge amount of risk. I feel like if we did a poll of CFOs, they would probably say like, that's not hindsight that we're looking at. That's best practices is to not have 50% of your cash in one bank.
Yeah, that's probably safe. So if you're looking still for the scapegoat here, who we're going to point fingers
Who do
at?
I eat?
Well, I think Yeah, can we just? I think it's just easier. Can we just point it at BuzzFeed's
Okay,
CEO
yeah.
or CFO?
Yeah, for sure, we can do that.
That would be my choice. I know it's less cash, but it's just easier that way.
Okay, all right, got it. So you're thinking that this is not going to spread. This isn't going to be a nationwide issue that concerns most people with standard accounts. It's not gonna impact them.
I don't. I mean, this is just like my opinion from what I read. I don't think it would. Obviously, there's some other banks that probably have like a similar exposure to, right? Signature was, with cryptocurrency. Silicon Valley Bank was with all these tech bros and tech companies. So there could be other banks out there that have, similar exposure kind of footprints and that are also invested in these treasuries, which, could cause similar issues. But overall, I don't think that anything is going to come of this because the Fed and the Treasury stepped in and they kind of backstopped everything. And I think it's just like it's a very different scenario than 2008. So I don't think it's going to spread or be as bad as 2008.
Okay, got it. And I have a friend who's going to be buying a house in Chicago soon, like probably very soon. And this friend was asking me the other day how much money he should put down on a house given what the interest rates are. He was like, should you put down as much as possible given interest rates are so high right now? Or what's the balance that you want to strike between having a loan that you end up paying off, but you're going to have all that interest that you end up paying first instead of the principal? Where should my friend be looking in terms of percentages, give or take? Because I know back in 2011, 2012, interest rates were very, very low. You should say like borrow everything that you can at that point. But now it's like up to 5-6% interest rate. So for my friend, what would you recommend to him?
Well, I'm probably like the worst person to ask about this because I bought a house at the peak of mortgages. I got like a 6% mortgage. Whoa. So yeah, it was pretty brutal. I was having a kid and needed a place to live. So I got kind of screwed there. So I'm a bad person to ask, but I don't know. I think the standard 20, if you can afford a little bit more, probably not a bad idea to go for it. But mortgage rates are dropping because of all this. And the Fed most likely will actually have to cut rates or at least keep rates steady, which should help mortgage rates come down a little bit. So you can tell your friend that he might be able to get, a better deal coming up soon if he can kind of wait and see what happens. I think the next Fed meeting is in 2 weeks at the end of the month. So there might be some good news coming for your buddy.
Okay. Or you can get like a float down rate where it's understood that if they do lower it in the future.
A variable, or that could be dangerous because I do think overall we're probably going to have to pause or maybe come down a little bit, but there's still going to be the inflation and that could actually cause more inflation. So there's going to be rate hikes probably, I would say, on the back half of this year. So I'd be careful about the variable, but you should probably, your friend should probably speak to, a mortgage expert on that.
Okay. What about the $1 trillion coin? Is that still something that we're talking about?
Man, I wish we'd get the $1 trillion coin. That'd be so cool to just see like Janet Yellen carrying that thing around.
I just want to see the coin.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I think it's just like one of those things that they have to do at some point, and we're gonna run into this issue, multiple times over the next, couple decades, I'm sure. So hopefully it'll be, the point. But I'm sure Congress will get to some deal at the end of the day. Can you, and like the 11th hour,
walk us through what the $1 trillion coin is and what it does? Because all I know is that it's possible to mint a $1 trillion coin, and so I'm very distracted by shiny things. And so in my mind, I'm like, that sounds awesome. That fixes everything. Why don't we just do that? So what's the reason that some people say that it could save everybody?
Yeah, so my understanding is that we're obviously about to surpass the debt ceiling. And so this $1 trillion coin basically would free up, another $1 trillion in theory, that we could just kind of go above the limit. So that's my general understanding of it. I don't know fully, but I'm kind of in your boat too, that I think it's just kind of a cool idea.
So I fully, like, I'm not trying to take sides on this, but I do know that every time there's a Democrat in office, the debt ceiling becomes a big point of contention for Republicans. It's like we can't spend any more when there's a Republican that's in charge. That we don't have that conversation at all. And granted, Democrats do like to spend a lot of money, so I understand that. But it seems like we skip that conversation every time there's a Republican in office.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Yeah, I mean, I think it probably has to do with the increase in spending under Democrats.
Yeah, Democrats do love to pay people. Love to just be like, their money's not real. We'll pay everybody.
I'm not a Democrat, but from my understanding, they have lowered the debt every time they've been in office, as opposed to Republicans. I'm not even a Democrat, but I don't think that's accurate.
We will have to fact check. The Big T's working on it right now. He's crunching the numbers.
Yeah, feels like something Big T would know.
He's working on it. Got my best guy.
Into it.
Clip still loaded.
All right, go.
Okay.
Far away.
Would it be possible to get a credit card with a high maximum, and then use that for a down payment on a house and then get a mortgage? So like get a super high limit.
You're talking about getting a loan. You're talking about getting a loan to get a loan.
Yeah.
Billy, did you see this on TikTok?
No. But I was just thinking about it the other day.
Definitely.
I was like, wow, like because I got my $1,000 Discover card. I've been paying, like, that's my limit. I've been paying it off pretty well. Credit score's in a good area with everything. And I was like, wait, if I get
you have $1,000 credit limit, you can ask them to raise that.
No, but
Billy.
I don't really spend that much money anyway. Like it's just on my dog and
no,
beer.
but it's still good to have a higher limit, and then you're spending a less percentage.
I spend less than $1,000 a week.
It's his dog and beer card.
It's my dog and beer card.
Every guy has one.
It gets
Yeah.
so then
Okay,
so I got a pretty decent credit score. So like I'm seeing some of these credit cards. They're like,
what are we talking? You in the 800s?
look, we're
Chicks dig high credit score.
let me just say I'm like over 750, but let's not get crazy.
It's I think I heard on the Mean Girl podcast. It's the 600 rule.
Yeah. Sometimes
that's a 600.
Sometimes I go over by accident and it just like skyrockets down to like 5. I don't know how that happens, but it bounces right back up. But could I like get like a credit card with a super high ceiling and then just use that for a down payment on a loan?
So I am not a personal finance guru. I have no idea. I highly doubt that they would let you pay. That'd be like paying a credit card with a credit card. I don't think they would let you.
What if I
that.
withdrawed it all in
like,
cash and then brought it to the bank? It was like, here's the down payment in
you got
cash.
It at like a 40% rate. I guess in theory, yeah, you could do that. That's probably the worst idea I've ever heard, but it could work.
But look, this is the American dream, home ownership. And
you should definitely do it at like a strip club ATM, so you get hit with like another massive
no.
fee on top.
We're avoiding the fees. We're gonna do the withdrawal at a institutional bank.
I mean, the irony is what Billy's talking about: taking out a loan to take out another loan. It's a shell game that happens at very high levels of banking.
Why can they get away with it?
It's not. Yeah, why do they get away
with
it?
Why can't I get away with it?
Why can't Billy commit a little bit of light fraud?
Just I'd pay it off. It'd take a long time, but we'd get there. We're just taking advantage of these rates.
It really would not be fraud if you took it out in cash, right? It's like they have no idea where the cash came from.
Yeah, dude.
And especially if you got a like no interest for no payments for 18 months or something, you're living sitting pretty.
Hell yeah. And I just dude, this actually could work. Okay, I'm gonna be a homeowner soon by this way, but actually,
it definitely could not work.
If you had,
I feel like as Billy's guardian at work, I need to step in and say, Billy, that's. You know what? Go for it. For it. Let Billy.
The system fucks us. Why can't we fuck the system?
Yeah, give me some.
I want some consensual fucking in the system.
What policy changes should we lobby for as the little guy? I mean, technically, perfectly average guy, but like as the little guy, who can I talk to, and what changes should be more equitable? How can we get some of the special treatment that the big guys are getting?
Are you talking about from Billy's perspective?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you got to call your congressman. I think that's how we start.
Could I start an LLC, get a business loan, and then use that loan to pay a down payment on a house and then just make it like an office, but like I live there.
I would throw something at you if I was in the office. I would throw something right at you.
Billy's talking about all kind. You're admitting to like pre-crime right now.
No, I'm just asking questions.
I mean,
it's parody law.
I mean, you could do that, but again, that's just lying about what you're using the loan for, which is completely illegal. That's not even a gray area.
I'm a business.
Why is lying illegal?
I'm not lying.
Seems like a violation of my First Amendment.
It's parody law. We're creating content. I'm content.
Bird law.
Content needs to live somewhere.
So Tyler, you were talking earlier about Washington Mutual being a bigger bank failure than Silicon Valley. I'm looking at the graphic you just tweeted out. And you can follow Tyler, JP Morin Chase, at JP Morin Chase on Twitter. Washington Mutual, $307 billion, Silicon Valley, $209 billion, both failures. I feel like we're talking more about Silicon Valley because it's got the name Silicon Valley Bank, which makes it sexier and crazier to talk about than Washington Mutual. Did Washington Mutual, when they failed, did they have a similar driver behind why they became insolvent?
No, so Washington Mutual, that was 2008, so that was the financial crisis. So that was like the credit risk.
Okay, got it. They were heavily leveraged in subprime loans.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Where, just on a personal level, where does your expertise come from? Like what's your history?
Yeah, so I worked in financial services consulting for like 10 years. So I worked with a lot of these big banks. And then at the same time, I was actually starting the newsletter that I sold to Barstool, was doing that for like 5 years. So basically just like writing and reading about all these things. It's just like for the past 5 years, that's basically been my life, is following this stuff on Twitter, living on FinTwit, reading every article, every blog that comes out about all this stuff. So, that's pretty much my resume, and why you probably should or should not listen to me.
Were you a vice president?
No, unfortunately not. That's actually only if you work at the bank is like when you become vice president. Like in consulting, it's more like you're, a director, an analyst, managing director, all that good stuff. So unfortunately, I was a senior associate at my highest level.
Okay, I've noticed that about financial services company or like banks. Everybody's a vice president. Everyone's vice president. And if you're talking to an associate vice president, it must be their first week.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They're probably trying to sell you like insurance through Northwestern Mutual or something. Yeah. But yeah, that's very true. In the like titles don't really matter. If someone's trying to talk to you or sending you a LinkedIn message, you're probably going to get duped into buying something crappy or fall for a scam like Billy's trying to create right now.
Yeah. Are we? I guess this would be my last question. Are we? How do we know when we've reached the moon if we've invested in something? Because I want to go. That's my investment strategy. Is I want to go to the moon. I'm moon bound, baby. We're going to the moon. So. What is if you're an investor in Bitcoin, how do you know when you've actually reached the moon?
Bitcoin is tough, right? Because I mean, some people have, like, I know when we talked to Billy, he said he's heavily invested with Kathy Wood, who
what the fuck's going on?
Started like ARK Invest. Yeah, I mean, she I think she has a price target of like 300,000 on Bitcoin. And so, I mean, there's some people that have, a price target of 100,000 over the next couple of years, or, $1 million over the next couple of years. So I think that's hard to say. But I mean, I think everyone would be very happy at this point if Bitcoin gets back to the 70,000, 69,000, whatever it was, level that it hit in like November 21 before everything kind of came crashing. So I think that would be like the first mooning that everyone would be really happy about, especially if it happened pretty quickly.
The trick is that once you think you're on the moon, then there are new people that get invested and they want to go to the moon. And so now their moon is further away. And so then you think to yourself, wait, this person's going to go to the moon too. I haven't reached my moon yet. And so you stick around. It's tough to have. I found that a lot of Bitcoin and crypto investors, they don't really have a solid price target as to when they want to get out. They just know that they want it to keep going up.
Yeah, Bitcoin is weird because some people look at it some people are like, okay, I'm just going to be like speculative. I'm going to, trade it, buy and sell it. And then some people like really truly believe in it. But then a lot of them, if you ask them like, well, what's it going to be? Is it going to be like the world reserve currency? A lot of them think that's ridiculous, even unless you're like a real kind of Bitcoin maxi. So a lot of people don't really have an idea of what it, and I think that's kind of like the sexy new thing is like everyone wants to be part of it, but no one really knows what the end goal is. Like, does it actually become, a hedge like gold, or does it become a reserve currency? Like, I have no fucking idea. Like, I've never seen anyone buy anything with Bitcoin.
So with getting back a little off topic, but getting back to those ARK funds and Kathy Wood, if let's say you put a decent amount in at some point, like what do we do here? Do we just like try to tax harvest, or are we just going to try to ride it out till Bitcoin gets to 300,000 or whatever?
I mean, I think there will be, right, like in a lower interest rate environment, like some of these, like I don't know exactly which one you're invested in, but she has like the ARK Innovation ETF, which is kind of like her, her big fund. I mean, that stuff's going to come back, right? It's like tech is getting killed right now, and kind of like all the issues we talked about with Silicon Valley Bank, all this stuff is getting killed right now because of high interest rates. And as I mentioned, I think interest rates are going to continue to go up probably the back half of this year. But interest rates will eventually come down. Like some of these, the good thing with Kathy Wood is like she's so invested in a few of these companies. It's kind of like the VC model where she only needs a couple of these to absolutely crush, right? So if Tesla comes back up, which she's heavily invested in, which it has been coming up a lot, like she's going to do really well. Like today, I don't know if you guys saw, but Meta just announced they're laying off 10,000 more people. And so it seems like that company is becoming a lot leaner, and it could become a lot more profitable. I mean, Facebook got absolutely crushed with their whole metaverse dreams, but I think they're coming around. I'm actually pretty bullish on Meta. So I think she just needs a couple of these things to kind of come back, and she could be okay. But I don't know that I would definitely, if what you said was true on our podcast, that you were down like 50% on those, I would just hold out on them, because it just as easily as, something like that, a tech stock goes down 50%, it could be up, 100% in the next year.
I know. So. I mean, because this is ridiculous. Some of these have lost, like some of these funds, ETFs have lost 60%. And look, I didn't lose all. Everyone's like, I think Hank thinks I lost like all my money. That's what he was trying to say on Part of My Take today. But
he has been sending a GoFundMe around for you.
Yeah. No, like Kathy Wood, like what the fuck? But anyway. If you had, okay, so for the average person listening, let's say you get your first bonus out of college, or you're like working one of those.
Let's say you beat up Jose Canseco.
No, but like let's say
hypothetically,
let's say you get like 1 or 2K in a bonus, and you don't know what to do with it. You want to do the smart thing to do with it. Like, what should you do? Like, should you buy Bitcoin? Go to the cash markets?
No.
Buy the 12-month treasury? Like, what's the safest thing to do? Where you can grow your money without really gambling it.
Yeah, I mean, something like an amount like that small, it's like I would just put it in like SPY or something. It depends. Well, it depends how long like you need it. If you think you're going to need it in a couple of years, or if you're going to need it soon to pay off your a credit card, or if you buy a house using a credit card, you might need it sooner. But I think if it's something where it's like you're just going to put it away and forget about it, you could put in something just like really unsexy, like a target fund or something. Like put in a target fund where you think you're gonna retire, or just like follow the S&P 500, which on average gains 10% a year, really easy. And if not, it's like if you're really not going to use it for a really long time and don't need it at all, just put it in an IRA or put it in your 401k. Like that'd be my biggest thing. Is like I know there's people at Barstool who literally don't use our 401k, and it's like they give you, I don't know what our matches was like 4% or something, but it's literally just free money. It's silly not to do it. So I'd highly recommend at the very least matching your 401k, or putting enough in to get the match in your 401k.
Okay, it's free money.
I should do that.
Free money. Yeah.
Okay, so Big T, you have any other questions?
I think that's it.
Arian, anything else? Anything financial related?
I'm good. Why did you emphasize it like that?
What do you mean?
Arian, I have a question for you.
I just felt I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't have a financial advisor. I'm just using this content to get info.
Free financial advice.
That's
what's up, brother? What's your question, man?
What did you do with your first NFL check? Did you invest any of it?
No, my first NFL check, I was on practice squad. So my first NFL check was, I think, my first NFL check was my signing bonus from being undrafted, which was, I believe, $5,200. I used that to get a used car, to help me get a used car. And so I had like an old Dodge Charger was my first car.
Nice.
And so that was like my first real one. I think I got pulled up from practice squad. I think I was on the toilet and it hit my bank account, and I think it was $31,000. Like I had what do they call active roster? It was my first active roster check. I think it was like 31 racks. And I thought I was rich. I thought I made it. You know what I mean? I made it. But my financial advisor is this. Is kind of like to Billy's question. Like if you get a bonus, it's like if you're not making like investing is like sexy, and I know it's actually. I mean, it has like sports gambling and investing and all these things. It's very sexy, but I didn't, and I wouldn't advise people to like gamble money. Just save the shit until you get to because I think it's like 70% of America can't afford a $500 emergency. So if you happen to come across $1,000 or $2,000, just put that shit away. You don't have to try to grow it. Like you're not fucking Warren Buffett. It just is what it is. Like be smart, have it for a rainy day, and when that rainy day comes, you'll have it. But if it doesn't come, cool, you still got your bread. So that's what I did really my first year was I just saved my shit. I wasn't into investing. I didn't do any of that shit. And then when I got a little bit more room to play with, then you start, taking meetings and trying to understand what you're investing in the first place. And I was actually lucky. I got somebody who was really smart. He's just really smart, but he was really adamant about all his clientele knowing what the fuck is going on, because I think it's 78% of athletes go broke after they play in the NFL or the NBA. And his whole motto was, it's not the fucking players. Like if you go to a hospital and 78% of the patients are dying, like why aren't we looking at the doctors? Why we don't blame the patients,
Okay.
And so he's like, it's the model. Like they don't teach kids, they don't try to make kids understand financial literacy. And so that was his whole thing. He was like, dog, just save your money. Don't worry about that shit. And then I always had questions. I was always inquisitive, and I'm not, by no means a financial expert. Like people go to school for this shit, years. I was just curious enough to pick up shit along the way, and it's worked out for me pretty well.
Does the NFL do anything? Do they have like resources for you guys, or will they introduce you to financial advisors? Or they're very like,
yeah, I mean, I think they do a good job of pretending, honestly. That's been my beef with the NFL. They pretend to care about players financially, pretend to care about players physically. They have shit in place, but like, so I think in order to be an NFL agent, I think it's like a $2,000 or something like it's something small like that. I don't remember exactly what it is, but what they need to do is regulate it more, right? So like if you sign up with an agent, they have like, yo, this is my financial advisor, I want to introduce you. It's like this package deal, right? And so I was always like, yo, diversify your investments, diversify your financial team. That way, if somebody's doing something shady, we can catch them on the other end. You know what I mean? But it's just like this pool, a very small pool of people that are in it, and I think it's very poorly regulated. And I don't they have like, they'll have like rookie symposiums or symposiums like at the end of the year, like, hey, come learn about finances. But that's majority of guys ain't gonna show up to that shit. They just don't do a very good job of emphasizing it, and more so it's the regulatory aspect of it. But that's just my
when they
perspective.
give you guys a script, right?
Yeah, is the economy scripted?
The clip heard around the world, wasn't it? God damn.
Yes, the economy is scripted.
God, it actually is. The economy is scripted, though.
Yep, we're all extras.
I mean, I was gonna say we get into the World Economic Forum, but that's a whole nother day.
Oh, Billy, you already asked 7 last questions. You can't follow up on that.
I think they're trying to kill me with a tick.
the World Economic Forum
Yeah.
is they invented a tick to kill Billy.
Yeah, that makes you allergic to red meat.
Like a little bug you're talking
yeah,
about?
like allergic. It's a whole
He's had a
thing.
lot of rashes recently. He's getting too close to the truth.
Yeah, they're trying to take me down. Seriously, they're trying to take me down.
He's over all the right targets, so he's taking flack.
Yep.
Big time.
Long story.
I had something I want to talk to you about. I love the show American Greed. I can't get enough of it. I watch every single episode. Something about con men, people getting caught in these situations.
That guy's voice, right, is so good
Stacey
on
Keach.
American Greed.
He's so greedy
Yeah.
sounding.
He's amazing. I saw one the other week that I'm still struggling to process. There was a couple, and they were like minor celebrities. They were on reality shows, and they started this thing during COVID out of Dallas, Texas, I think. And they started doing an investment group, kind of based.
I literally watched this last night.
You saw this one? So
yeah, I watched it last night. That's
so
fun.
this couple started an investment group based on, I think it's West African and Caribbean investing practices called Asusu, which my understanding of Asusu is you get together. It's for people that don't have access to banks but want to be able to save some money and have that money in a safe place. So you get to, let's say that Macrodosing did Asusu. We sit down and every month we put in $100 into a pot, right? And then at the end of each month, one person gets, so it would be me, Billy, Big T, 3, 4, Avery, 5, Mad Dog, 6, Arian. We put $600 into a pot every month. And then a month from then, we give one person that $600. So Billy, you would get $600 after the first month, but we all keep investing. The next month, Big T would get $600. So it's the money is staying in the same place. It's just being paid out in lump sums. So it's not really an investment. It's just making sure that your money that you currently have doesn't go anywhere. So there's this one that couple said that they were starting this thing, and they created a board. And I'm going to see if I can explain this correctly. But imagine it looks like a board game. And when you invest in them, you get to level 1 on the board game. And then after a certain amount of time, if you sign more people up, then you level up to level 2. And then after you get enough people invested, once you reach the center of the board, you get paid out like 10 times what you put in. But it was just like basically a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
But they started talking about these boards that were just made up in their heads. And then they're like, great news, your board just split. Now you have 2 boards. And people are like, oh, awesome. That means I'm going to get paid out even more. Just making shit up off the top of their heads. And then once people got upset that they weren't getting their money back, they said, well, guess what? We just created a new software system that's going to allow you to monitor your boards more closely. But to pay for that, it's going to be $85 a month that you have to pay to monitor your boards. And I was just trying to wrap my head around, how do people fall for these types of things without a million red flags going up and saying, none of this makes any sense at all?
Oh, I mean, it's just a deconstructed pyramid.
Yeah, or
The board is a deconstructed pyramid.
yeah, but it's a board.
but
it's
you
a board.
because it's deconstructed. You don't see.
Yeah.
But it's not really any different than like on a larger scale. Like there are people that pay so much money to go to like, I know like the Yak guys talk about like the Grant Cardone, right? Like that stuff is so scammy. And Robert Kiyosaki, like all these guys who are kind of these like snake oil salesmen, they're all out there and they just like wear different hats and they do it on different levels, right? So like these guys came up with this really interesting, they just gamified it, right? But there's also like my wife, you know, there's people that are like, oh, you should join my, my crystals and essential oils scheme, right? It's like those are the same exact thing. And yeah, I don't know how fairly smart people fall for it. I think it's like a fault in, humans' brains that just like the get rich quick thing is always going to be something that people fall for.
I was sort of involved in a pyramid scheme over COVID. It was called PieCoin. So what they were trying to do is basically try to get you to. It was this crypto, and it's still going on.
Are you about to incriminate yourself?
No, I wasn't directly involved. I can't be held liable. But basically, it was the first social based coin, and I wasn't. No one paid me. I talked about it on Part of My Take, and I tweeted it like my PieCoin number so people could join me in mining Pi. But basically, it was a pyramid scheme to spread. The more people that you got involved mining Pi, the more pie you would mine. And at some point they were saying
Yep.
they kept promising that the pie would be worth something. So here I'm over, like I have like 1 trillion pie because we were just mining pie. But I know, like at the time in my head, it was like there was no risk for me. Like the worst thing it's doing is taking my data, which every other app takes.
I actually think there was some risk for you as like as a celebrity, right?
Well,
like
I don't
you
think
putting that out.
if they charge me with that, that's their
know.
fault. I'm not a fucking celebrity. Like come on.
You're too humble, Billy.
Like no.
I feel like you have a big enough following where it would be like you could fall into that category. Like Garrett Gensler from the SEC could come after you. I mean, granted, you're no Kim K or Floyd Mayweather,
Yeah,
but
exactly. I mean, like if they think, but they're trying to say that like it is going to turn into money someday. Like, and if it does, then we all cash out. But I mean, it makes zero sense. But like I did in that moment, I was like, there's no downside to me like doing this. I mean, at the time it was unregulated.
I mean, yeah, the only real downside is you wasting your time.
Yeah.
I guess, or unless you converted some other folks to it, then that's kind of shady of you.
I mean, I didn't see anything. Like honestly, at the time, I saw nothing wrong. Like I still see nothing wrong with it. Like it was just using your battery.
Has your pie converted to cash?
No, it's they keep saying you got to like download this new thing on your computer to like one day convert it to cash, and then I'm like, yeah, that's the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds a lot like something maybe our boss got involved in.
Maybe
It could be.
With safe in the name.
So to your point, PFT, I think a lot of smart people do fall for this kind of shit, man. And it's like, and I think it's just ignorance, and I don't mean that like with the negative connotation of ignorance. It's just lack of knowledge. Like everybody's an expert in what they're expert in, like financial markets, and this shit is confusing. Like it's very confusing, and I believe it's set up like that for a reason. Like it's hard to understand stocks. People who trade stocks barely understand stocks. Bonds, treasuries, the Fed, all this shit is crazy. Banks. It's just a lot of information, and people are like, and they just whatever it. Like, I found the best piece of advice is I just like ask questions until you blue in the face, until you understand what's going on. Just keep asking questions, and if people get mad at you asking questions, you shouldn't fuck with them, because it's your money. You out here working. You out here doing this shit. Ask questions. It's not dumb. You're not dumb. It's people don't. It's hard shit to understand. People go to school for years to understand these shits. Ask questions. I was just to my people out there who are, because a lot of people like, I think in this society, economics and how much we make and what to do with our money, it's kind of taboo to talk about. You know what I mean? Like it's not really, nobody really, it's not a topic of conversation. It's like talking about money is not really something that we bring up on a daily, like, yo, how much do you make, or what did you invest here, or how to invest. It's not really, you supposed, like, because people are scared of feeling dumb or feeling, incoherent about the shit. It's you're not dumb, man. Because I had that learning curve too. I was like, I went to my man's like, I don't know about any of this shit. I didn't have, when I first got out of college, right, I didn't know how to rent a car. I didn't know how to get an apartment. He flew down on his dime to teach me how to do all this shit, because my focus was on something else. I'm not stupid. My focus was on something else. So just ask questions until you get the shit, because it's your money, man. You better be blue in the face from asking questions than out on your luck because somebody robbed you. You know what I mean? So just ask questions, man, because I get frustrated. I see people struggling with this shit. I get a whole bunch of DMs about people like, yo, I don't know what the fuck. Ask questions, man. All right, that's my rant.
All right,
Ben.
Good rant. I have another last question.
We got to empty the clips so we're blue in the face.
Should we audit the Fed?
Yeah, keep asking questions. Arian just said it.
Are we auditing the Fed? What does that mean? Does the Fed need to be audited? I just hear people say it, and it sounds like a cool catchphrase.
Listen, we should keep asking questions and we should hold them accountable. So yes, we should probably audit the Fed and every other government agency, which the Government Accountability Office says they do stuff like that, but they're also part of the government. So, how much can we trust?
Is the gold real in Fort Knox?
Yes, I've seen it myself. No, I have no idea.
Is there gold under Wall Street?
No.
I know there's gold under Wall Street.
Well, yeah, there is gold at the Federal Reserve. Yes, that's actually, I believe, or at least they say, on the walking tours in New York City, I believe that they have more gold than Fort Knox.
I think they do. I don't know why we just don't get some jackhammers and just go down there. I feel like that would
Go for it,
I feel
bro.
like that would be
Go do it.
the best like use of our time to make money.
Just go rob it.
It feels like the worst place to like have the gold, right? Like I don't know. It just seems like a much harder place to defend than it should be. Like in Manhattan, like in a busy city.
No, well, I mean, militarily, it'd have to be like a whole army. That you'd have to take all of New York City and strategically.
You have to take the city.
New York City is like a
Yeah.
fucking fort in itself.
I mean, the British did it pretty easily.
Yeah, but that was
1776.
before. That was before we had military installations at the mouth of the harbor and had our military apparatus. Now you could never do it.
That's true.
The Germans
Yeah.
got a U-boat pretty close, but we snuffed that out.
Good for us. We did it. All right. Any other last questions?
Um,
Or Tyler, if you have any last questions for us
should I get a credit card with a higher max?
to get a loan for your other credit card?
No, just like should I get a new credit card that isn't just $1,000? Because I really don't see a point of like.
I think like credit card experts would say like you should probably have like 2 or 3 credit cards. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's like credit is literally the biggest scam going. Like you have to spend money to make sure that your credit grows, but you can't have a certain right. Like you should only have like between 10 and 30%. It's like it literally is just kind of like a game that you have to play. So I know there's like some hard and fast rules that what are the whatever the 3 credit bureaus are that you can look at, but I think there are like get some credit or get more credit cards, a few credit cards, actually spend every month but always pay it off, a few other things. But yeah, I would also try to increase that credit limit, Billy.
But why?
Because they look at it on the percentage that you spend. So say that you're spending, $500 a month. That means you're using 50% of your credit limit, and that actually could work against you. So if you got like a $10,000 limit and you're only, you're spending 500, it's 5%.
Okay, now I actually will. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate you joining us. Again, you can follow him online. You can follow him on Twitter. You got Instagram? Plug all your shit.
Same thing. At JP Morin Chase. You can also sign up for the daily finance newsletter. We talk about markets and everything that's going on. Thewatercoolest.com. And I think that's all I got. That's all I got going on.
Joining us not from.
Oh, actually, I lied. I also have the Family Office podcast with Large. We had Billy on a couple weeks. We usually we have somebody on. I think we're about to drop a KFC episode where he talks about everything that happened with his personal finances recently. So that should be a good one.
Okay. Sounds good. Check him out.
Joining us not from heaven, but from tax heaven, South Florida.
That was good, Billy.
Exactly.
I've been holding that the whole time.
You nailed it.
It looks like, look at your face. Like when you spit that joke, you're like, did you hear it, guys?
No, I was gonna say, but I got lost in the shuffle.
That'd be the Cayman Islands, though, wouldn't it? I'm
Yeah,
gonna start a Cayman Islands account.
South Florida.
Just
Same
go
thing.
visit. All right. Thank you, Tyler.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good
All
one.
right. See ya.
Peace, brother.
All right. Thank you to Tyler for joining us. That was illuminating. Good chat with him. You can check him on Barstool Finance and check out his newsletter as well. Water Cooler, right?
Water
Coolest.
Water Cooler.
I actually used to read that all the time.
Water
When he
Coolest.
came on, I was like, holy shit.
My mistake. I don't want to give any publicity to the Water Cooler. It's Water Coolest.
Yeah, it's to be the coolest at the water cooler.
That's right. I had a 3 Chi thought yesterday when I got home from Phantom of the Opera, which I didn't like.
What did you like about it?
It was super confusing. Almost all the plot was driven in song format, and also I just didn't the story of Phantom of the Opera, major incel vibes.
Oh yeah,
The dude the Phantom, he persuades the main character, the woman that just took over the show, to like come visit him in his scary dungeon. And then he like screams at her for a while and says, only I can teach you how to sing correctly. And then he works with her on music, and then he flips the fuck out on her and throws her to the ground. And then he's like, but you still love me. You'll always. And then she goes back to like the real world, and she's got a boyfriend who treats her really well, good guy. And then she's torn because the Phantom's like, what the fuck? Why are you throwing me out? Why are you going with this guy? Wouldn't you rather just spend all your time canoeing with me through hell? Wasn't that way better than having this normal love life? And then the woman has to make a decision between a perfectly fine guy who's normal and good to her that she likes, and then for some reason this creepy ass Phantom dude that's basically trying to kidnap her for the rest of eternity.
Does he wear a mask?
He wears a mask because he's deformed. Yeah.
How do you get deformed?
From birth, I believe.
Damn.
Yeah. So now the woman, we're supposed to believe that the woman doesn't know who to choose. Why are you laughing like that, Billy?
It's just, I remember like my mom used to listen to the Phantom of the Opera soundtrack, and I always and having you describe it this way is totally different than the way I imagined growing up.
Yeah.
It makes so much more sense.
Yeah. The Phantom's like, why wouldn't you want to live with me in hell? Doesn't that sound way cooler than being a successful singer and having everything you dreamed of? And then, so he gets mad at her, and then he like hates her and starts killing people. It's major incel vibes.
No, I got the total. It was described to me as like a total romance story of an underdog, like prevailing because he had the best voice, and he was like, and no one else could sing like him, but he had to hide in the sewers.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a part of it.
But this makes so much more sense.
Yeah, he was hiding, and he was hideous from birth, and so he's basically like a freak that was trapped down there. And then I think that maybe the point that they were going for when they wrote it was like, he is an underdog. What a tough decision. But he's like the least sympathetic character of all time. And then, yeah, wasn't a fan. And tickets are expensive for it, and it's going off Broadway. It's like the longest running Broadway show ever. Save your money. Go see Book of Mormon instead, right, Big T?
Yeah, they say every show's the longest running Broadway show ever. Everyone that's gone away that I've seen was the longest running show ever.
Imagine your girl goes to work and you just find out she's like running around in the sewers with some with some ugly dude.
Yeah, and this guy really brought nothing to the table.
Just can sing.
And we're supposed to be like, I love the Phantom. He's so artistic and dark and weird. You know what it was like to me when a guy's like, how come chicks don't go for nice guys like me? The Phantom definitely thought he was a nice guy.
Arian's story told on Monday was the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, the thread?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have saved myself a lot of time and money.
Yeah.
And just listen to Arian read that damn thread again. No, Phantom of the Opera is the longest running show in Broadway history, officially. So
I've heard that about Cats. I've heard that about something similar for Beetlejuice. Like Beetlejuice has been there forever.
Cats is number 4. So at some point, Cats was until it stopped on September 10th, 2000. Oh, it's 2000, not 2001. Okay. All right. That would have been, I would have had some questions about where the Cats were on 9/11.
True.
And then Lion King 3, Chicago 2, and Phantom of the Opera number 1.
It's going to be Hamilton, right?
Probably.
Like Hamilton will just be there forever.
Yeah. So I got home from the show. I'd taken some 3 Chi, and then actually that'll be my 3 Chi thought for the week. How about we make that a recurring thing? I'll do a PF Chi. I'll give my 3 Chi thought of the week. So let's get into some voicemails.
Okay. Oh, I think one of them is for Arian, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, Arian had to duck out. He had an appointment that he just left to go to. So I will answer for Arian.
Oh yeah, can you just answer on behalf of what do you think it's
Yes, I will tell.
Hey guys, it's Alex from Brooklyn. I appreciate y'all answering my first couple questions. I appreciate that. I have 2 questions. One's a quick one. What makes Big T laugh? Like actually laugh? I'll see a wry smile or maybe a chuckle every now and again, but I mean like an actual like doubled over belly laugh.
That's actually a really good question.
Big T, you could use a little more laughter in your life, and it's not there already because it's not evident in the podcast. Also, PFT. I'm sorry about getting called a yuppie the other day. I know you're in a search for a house. What feature do you really, really look for in a house? As an architecture enthusiast, interior design enthusiast, what is like that one thing that TFT wants in his house? It's very unique. Thanks, guys.
Okay, good questions. Big T, I know you're a big Jeff Dunham fan, right?
No,
Love that guy.
Where'd you come up with that?
I think that's just a lie that we should run with.
No, I actually kind of hate that guy.
Big T, massive Jeff Dunham. Loves puppets.
I'm trying to think. I'm asking my girlfriend right now what makes me laugh the most.
Owning libs.
That doesn't make me laugh. It gives me satisfaction, but it's not really humorous because the country is at stake in those discussions.
It'd be funny if it wasn't so dangerous.
Right. I mean, there's real lives at stake. I don't know. Like, just as a general category, I would say stuff that's like really unexpected, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how to, quantify.
Slapstick
No.
comedy?
The Jokers, the Impractical Jokers.
No.
Oh, we gotta find videos and see if they make Big T laugh.
Yeah, will Big T think this is funny?
What's the funniest video you guys have seen in a long time?
I don't know if I can say her response. She said when she's acting insane. But like, I don't know.
Mackenzie, feel free to laugh. You were stifling that. Do you have a good laugh?
No, not really. It's like
You're
actually
fired.
kind of annoying. No, well, it's not annoying.
It's not.
It's like
annoying.
a giggle.
Yeah.
Okay, having somebody with a solid laugh is always a good addition to the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Can turn the worst joke into
It's a custom laugh track.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been running on my own for 2 years now.
Yeah. Feel free to laugh. If you feel a laugh coming on,
No, please
make
laugh.
sure the microphone's on, and just really go for it.
You have to
It'd make
laugh.
all of us feel better. And then it's also the power of suggestion, where if you're listening at home and somebody else is laughing, then like
They
Billy
start
said,
laughing.
It's like a
laugh
yawn.
track.
It's like contagious.
I do
Yep.
laugh at like everything,
You-
so
perfect.
I'll support you guys.
Good. Appreciate that. As for my house features, it's interesting that this person asked that. What was his name?
Alex.
Alex from Brooklyn. Because when I was looking at houses, I'm very, very stupid when it comes to purchasing a house. The real estate agent that I'm using in Chicago had to remind me several times, you don't want to buy this house because the TV is big in the living room.
Because you don't get that TV.
I don't get that TV. And also, I can buy a TV to put there in any house.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm going through the house and there was one like 85-inch television, I was like, I love this basement. This basement rocks.
That's crazy. You're going to have a basement.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm so excited. I love basements. Never had one growing up. It's gonna be
Really?
my first basement.
Oh.
So I saw the TV and I was like, I like this house a lot. I want to buy this house. And she was like, you shouldn't buy the house because of the television in it. I was like, thank you for reminding me that. Also, there was another house that I wanted to buy because it was 2 blocks away from my favorite wing place in Chicago. And she was like, that you can just walk from another house to this wing place, or you can drive to the wing place if you want to. And then because it's 10 minutes away from this other house that we looked at. Mm-hmm. And then there's also, I look for bars that are nearby. If there's a bar that I really like, then I want to buy that house. And she's like, so you could buy this house, which sucks, but it's right next to your favorite bar. Or on the other hand, you could, and hear me out here, buy a different house and then pay a $5 Uber ride to get to the bar and then get home. And so she's having to remind me of these things on a regular basis, which I need that reminder.
Or you could buy the bar.
And just live in the bar?
Yeah.
Or live below the bar like the Phantom?
Like, it's a better asset than a house.
Is it?
What
You
was
get
this
money.
guy saying about you being a yuppie?
Oh, on Part of
yeah.
My Take.
Yeah, so I told the story. This is my Firefest from last week on Part of My Take. But I was taking tours of these houses. As I was going up the driveway, someone had written in the cement, like, fuck yuppies. Something like, it was either like go home fucking yuppie or fuck yuppies, because it was a new house and they assumed that whoever would purchase that house would be a yuppie moving into that neighborhood. And so it indirectly called me a yuppie. And I was thinking to myself, like, am I a yuppie? I've never been called a yuppie before. I feel like that slang went out back in the 90s.
Oh,
You weren't young enough
I've
to be
always
called
called
it.
people that.
Oh, really? Would you call
It's like
me a
it's South
yuppie?
thing.
So
No, you're
you're
not young anymore.
your personality traits, not necessarily.
Your bank
your
account?
station in life and some of the things you do, yes.
I have a job.
Going to Phantom of the Opera on a Monday night and returning home to your, I won't say the neighborhood, but affluent, home, that's yuppie behavior.
Okay, I'll agree to that. Yeah, that is definitely yuppie behavior. But so it's young urban professional. So I'm urban.
I actually didn't know that.
It's
I have a
basically
job.
it's anybody who doesn't work with their hands. It's like if you have a job.
So we're
but you're
all
not Luke.
yuppies.
I always just took yuppie to mean an uppity, younger, rich person.
Yeah.
I took it as uppity, yeah.
If you watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, the next door neighbors, Todd
Correct.
and Margot,
Correct.
those are yuppies.
Why is the carpet wet, Todd? I don't know, Margot.
Yep, absolutely fantastic movie. So yeah, I guess I kind of am a yuppie, but I'm a self-hating yuppie.
Yuppie
I'm one of the good
adjacent.
ones.
No, but we're
all
more
yuppies.
artistic. We don't dress up. We're artsy, kind
Yeah,
of.
this is a very
Right?
artsy podcast.
Are we
Yeah.
artsy?
Billy secretly
Bloggers?
is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an art.
I work with my hands. I blog.
Yeah.
You see these calluses? That's that blog life for you. But the real answer, and again, this is another dumb answer I'm about to give for what I look for in a house, because there was one house that had a sauna in it.
Oh,
dude.
come on.
Yeah, and
You gotta get a cold plunge then.
yeah, I would have to. You're absolutely right. Dude,
Sensory
So,
deprivation.
I saw a sauna and I was like, I want this house. And then the realtor was like, you can buy these
sauna.
at Costco.
Yeah.
Costco sells saunas now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, how much is a Costco sauna?
Probably like $1,000, $2,000. Check.
That would be a really good investment.
You and I define
You're gonna
investment
are you
very
gonna
differently.
bring people to your
Bring-
sauna
yeah.
and charge them?
No,
You could.
I'm gonna put it in my backyard. I have
Okay,
a tiny backyard.
it's $2,300 on. Oh, that's on Wayfair, so it might come with a child inside.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a wild moment, huh? But yeah, so I'm seeing $5,000, $4,000. Yeah, you can get one for under $2,000
Dude,
at
actually,
Costco.
this might be worth it.
So
So now are you looking at sauna houses?
I mean, it's still in my head. Like, there's that one house that I looked at that had the sauna, and I'm still very much drawn to that for the sauna reason. But I also now hold in my head the thought that I can just buy a sauna at Costco if I find a house that's better.
it's going to be so crazy. You're going to have a house and a car and a basement.
Yeah, I'm growing up. It's sad.
Damn.
Like Peter Pan. I was just living without a basement all these years.
Big T, did you find Borat funny?
Yes.
I could see Big T having big
Yeah,
belly laughs with
no,
Borat.
I like Borat. for sure.
One of the funniest movies of all time.
Yeah, that I could see getting Big T like bent over.
Borat got less funny. That was weird, Billy.
What?
Nothing.
Bent over.
Bent
Borat,
over.
Borat. What?
Doubled over.
Doubled over. Borat is an all-time great movie that was somewhat ruined by people talking like Borat after the fact and really running my wife into the ground.
A good my wife though.
It plays now.
Yeah.
It's back, but for a couple years after Borat, everybody was saying. But if you drop a good my wife, Big T's right.
Yeah.
Very funny now. All right.
Or a good I hope George Bush kills every man, woman, and child in Iraq.
Yep.
What?
May their deserts run dry.
Yeah.
It's great
I
stuff.
knew it. I knew Borat
It's
would
great
hit the
stuff.
Borat's
Borat does hit. There's. I'm just going to start naming scenes, but yeah, that movie's elite.
Yep. Agreed.
Oh, Borat when he's at the dinner party, or like when he's running through the hotel with his buddy who's naked.
Yeah.
Like that's so
Male nudity always plays. The male form is hilarious. People say it's ugly. I think it's just funny.
But
There was a scene in Banshees of Inisherin. Have you guys watched that movie?
No, I need to watch that
What
though.
is it?
I saw
There's-
the donkey at the
Oh,
Oscars.
I love the donkey. Jenny's the
Jenny?
best. There's one scene where one of the characters in the movie is completely nude, passed out on a chair, and it's just hilarious. It's just, I don't know what it is. Like, the male form is so lumpy and gross and weird and disgusting. I was just laughing the entire time.
So real quick, the funniest thing in Borat isn't even in Borat. It's a news clip from when he did the thing at the rodeo, like a real life news clip. This isn't in
Yeah.
the movie, and they talk about it happening, and that's the funniest thing from the movie.
I might let me see Borat on the news deleted scene. Can we play this? Yeah, we can, right?
I don't know.
Probably
You don't
not.
have to play
I
it.
don't think
but,
so.
I want to play. I want to see you laugh.
But you can look that up.
But you
It's
didn't
very
like
good
Bruno.
stuff. Never seen it.
Yeah.
All right, another voicemail.
Sasha Baron Cohen got real lib after
Yeah, see,
that.
loved Borat, hated Bruno.
Hot wife though. Okay.
Hey, what's up? It's Sam from Baltimore. I'm just interested in if you had to open a restaurant, what would be your cuisine? Like how are you setting up your appetizer menu? How are you setting up your entrees, etc.? Where are you leaning on cuisine?
Or are you moving into said establishment as an investment opportunity?
I would some sort of sandwich with meat, cheese.
A burger
you could
place.
You could you could do like a buffalo sauce version of it. Maybe some brownie bites, some fries.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, is it like delivery only?
It's delivery only, but we'd probably have some trailers that were set up.
I'd work
some
in
food
that.
trucks.
I'd like that idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to really rack my brain and figure
And
out.
it has like a cute punny name.
Yeah, it would have a cute punny name for sure. It
would be around
it'd be really spicy, very spicy.
but around sporting events too, right?
Yeah, it'd be super spicy, and then
I'm thinking this goes nuclear, like 500 plus locations nationwide.
yeah, I think that sounds about right. And then I would also make sure it was really it was in a style of sandwich that was really unphotogenic. So no matter how good the sandwich was, even if you took the best picture of it possible, it still wouldn't look that good, but it would taste really good. So that's
It always hits.
It does hit.
It would always hit.
It hits
Yeah.
big time. No, I would do dumplings. And I would call them dim sum good dumplings.
Macro dumps.
Macro dumps. Yeah,
Macro
that's-
dumplings.
Yeah, dumpling cast. No, I think we're gonna have to get Donnie on, and I'll have to do a dumpling versus wonton cook-off with him. I can make a fucking dumpling. I've got a legit dumpling recipe.
Did you make those in COVID when you were in
I
your
did,
cooking
yeah.
era?
Yep, sure did.
I would make a restaurant with just all my favorite foods of different varieties from all sorts of parts of the world. It would be so cool. It would be like
An everything restaurant.
Chinese, Mexican, Italian.
You're talking about a Vegas buffet.
Or a Golden
Yeah.
Corral?
Just-
yeah.
Oh
No.
yeah, Golden Corral.
No,
Yeah,
but-
you and Billy invented Golden
But
Corral.
it's like all my favorites from all of them just in one place.
So it's Golden Corral.
Yeah,
but like it's got like burritos, but also like Peking duck and like pork fried rice, but also chicken parmesan and veal parmesan.
yeah, you invented a buffet.
And like spaghetti.
No red meat.
No, we're getting back on the red meat train. They won't beat me. Those globalists won't stop my red meat consumption. I swear to God, I'll die on this hill.
Yeah, Golden Corral's elite. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I remember when one moved into Greensboro, North Carolina. I was visiting my grandparents, and they flipped out. They were so happy about it. We went over to visit like 3 of their friends that week, and that was the entire discussion point in every single living room that I sat in with my grandparents. You see new Golden Corral open up? That's some good eating. I just did a Sling Blade voice for my grandfather for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Oh, and there's just a like Waffle House in the restaurant from all day.
Yeah.
But it also makes New York style bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches,
SPK.
like deli style,
Okay.
but also Waffle House style, and steak and eggs.
Yeah. What about you, Big T?
Mine would be as close to a direct copy as I can get to the greatest establishment in the world, which is Yard House.
I knew you were going to say that.
Just if I could just copy the menu and everything.
I went to Yard House last weekend.
Me too.
I've got my problem with Yard House is the menu on the iPad that you get. It's tough to navigate. If an
And-
old person going in there would see that and be like, I just need to talk to a human being.
And they make it seem like you can order from the iPad, which would be great, but
Yeah.
you can't. You have to hit the button for the server to come.
Yeah, that's weird to me. That's goofy.
But I sat in there for like 2.5 hours on Saturday. It was glorious.
I've never been.
Me neither.
Let's go.
Do you want to go today?
Billy, do you like beer?
I can't go. I'll go tomorrow.
No, go tomorrow.
Oh, did you after extra dose?
Say it again.
After extra dose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
All right, we got any more voicemails?
Yeah. One
Let's
more.
do one more. Yeah.
Yo, what's up? My name's Brian. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Fuck yeah, Brian.
I think I was watching the Yak the other day, or maybe a couple weeks ago, and KB mentioned how he fake got into Van Halen to try to impress people, but he really didn't care about Van Halen. But that got me thinking, like, did I ever do that? Did I ever think of, like, fake be into something to try and impress people? So I guess my question is, have you, any of you, said you got into something just trying to impress people? All right, stay beautiful, stay handsome. I'll see you guys.
I broke into an EDM concert and I didn't really care about the DJ.
To impress someone?
No.
How'd you break in?
I snuck in through the trash. No. That's actually really...
Wait. They're bringing trash into a concert?
No. I couldn't get in. My ticket was fake or something. The guy didn't want to let me in. And I said, fuck that. I wanted to go with my friends into the party, and I didn't really care about the EDM. Wait, actually, this is a different question.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about the EDM fucking DJ, but like my buddy was into it, and I was like, fuck it, I'm getting into this. I'm not just getting left alone. Like, underage, no ID. Like, everyone gets in but you that one time for no reason. So I just like went around back, climbed in through where the dumpsters were, snuck in through the back, because like if you get over the fence, sometimes the door's open. So then you just walk in the back door, walk around, just like found myself in the kitchen, then just snuck into the main dance floor and I was in.
All right.
So I snuck in through the trash.
With the trash.
Yeah, like where they put the trash out?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people leave that door open, but they think that the outside fence locked will keep people out.
One time I was dating a chick and she was really into drinking Captain Morgan. And so then I pretended to like Captain Morgan rum a lot. And I would buy a lot of Captain Morgan. That's the closest thing I could think of. Didn't work out.
I dated a boy who was really into hunting. And I pretended to be into hunting for a little bit.
Did you kill anything?
No, I didn't go hunting. But no.
What
you
do you have to do to pretend to be into hunting if you never have to go?
No, like I'm like kind of like against it pretty much in all forms. I don't like the idea of it. So he like killed deer and I would have to be like, oh my God, that's so awesome. And he would like send me pictures of him holding the buck up. And I'd have to be like, babe, that's so great.
That's such a big deer you shot.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and it's not definitely bloody all over you. That's so fun.
You're a very supportive person.
Yeah, but that was hard. That one was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my grandpa lived in Daytona, and I don't remember if, it was pitched to me as this is where they have a really cool racetrack, like there's, cars there all the time and stuff. Or if I just, I don't remember how, but I like was like, oh, that's cool, I guess. But like, I didn't care at all, but I pretended to be like really into it.
Yeah.
And the only sport he liked was tennis. That was it. He hated every other sport. So he didn't give a shit at all. And so I would go down there and I'd be like, man, this NASCAR, that's like really cool. And I didn't care. Mm-hmm. And we would go to like the practices for the races and stuff. We'd go to all sorts of this shit. And neither one of us liked it at all. And I thought he liked it. So I was like, oh, so I'll pretend to like it. And nobody liked it at all. So we were all just wasting our time.
Everybody was thinking the same thing about the other person.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's funny. I like that. I tried to get into F1 because everybody else was talking about it. And there are some of the storylines that are interesting, like objectively, if you don't care about the sport. But because everybody was talking about it, I was like, yeah, I'll get an F1. And then after a couple months, I just realized I don't actually like this. And so I'm going to stop pretending to like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Weed and like heavy gangster rap. It was just something that I was just around at one point. And I was just like, I guess we're just rocking with this. Mm-hmm. And I was never really into it.
Now you've got 3 chi. You don't need the weed.
Right, exactly.
I have one breeding bunnies.
You got really into breeding bunnies?
No, I faked it.
Wait, don't rabbits like fuck all the time? That's the only thing I know about rabbits. It's like they're humping like rabbits right now.
Yeah, it's a profitable business.
But you bred them?
I didn't do that. I had to. Same person. Bred bunnies.
Oh, so he had a caring side. He made life and
there you go.
And then he had but I had to go on bunny deals.
I bet those were.
Oh my god, that must have been so fun.
Insane.
That must have been so fun. Was he like selling like designer exotic bunnies?
Not like designer was, but like Facebook Marketplace.
Oh my
He was
God.
selling
Dude,
rabbits.
there's
Mhm.
You had to roll up to bunny transactions with this guy?
We went one.
bunny people must have been
We
wild.
went-
In case shit went down.
He definitely brought a gun to these bunny deals.
To like Walmart parking lots.
I stay strapped in case this goes sideways.
You were like the protector, like you had to go.
He
I'm gonna
does.
say one more thing about like we went one time the day after my grandma died, and he told me it would cheer me up.
Oh my god.
Are you okay?
I can see where that came from. The bunny, like bunnies.
You know what would make you happier is if I offloaded 7 of these rabbits. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
And they weren't like at. And they were like,
how much were they going for?
Like $40. It's not really profitable, but
Listen, you know, this guy is just doing his best.
Yeah.
Trying to cheer her up.
yeah. Well,
This
it
is
wasn't
what he
even like to
gets.
hang out with the bunny. He was like, "Come on a 4-hour drive with me."
Oh my god.
Chivalry.
You are ride or die.
Yes, seriously.
I've been to some chicken deals in a Walmart parking lot, and the people who roll
It's
up
an
sell
interesting-
the people selling them. Like, yes, I was trying to like establish a good laying hen population during the pandemic, like a lot of people. But the people who were
Yeah, it was a
dealing,
pandemic hobby.
Yeah, the people who are dealing, it's the funniest thing. They get really serious. Like, do you have the money? And it's like, yo, dude, we're not like dealing drugs.
Got the shit.
I'm not gonna screw you over for some chickens, bro. Like, you're not gonna just give me the chickens. I'm not gonna just drive off on you.
All right. That's a good episode of Macrodosing today. We will see you guys next week. Actually, we'll see you guys later on this week for
Extra dosing.
Extra Dosing
Yep.
on The Last of Us and Dinosaurs. And it'll be a Nice Girls podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Love you guys.